FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And we do now have all the streaming up and running, as well as the broadcast signal on that homepage of ours. All righty. Hope your Wednesday was good. Thanks for tuning in. Let us kick off your Thursday with the LeaderMan. Okay. Let's see. Stephen makes a racket with his papers.
I was just reading about the death of the famous primatologist Jane Goodall.
Yeah, I've got that story
Who
coming.
left this mortal coil yesterday at the age of 91.
Yeah, she had this speech impediment that allowed her to talk to apes.
Interesting.
Right?
How do you earn a living by examining chimpanzee behavior, I wonder? Interesting.
Well, she got a lot of publicity about it, sitting out there in the woods with them, and primarily the silverback gorilla, and studying their behavior and publishing works, and a lot of folks coming out to be with her to study also.
I guess. Good work if you can get it.
Pretty much you bet it was all government grants that got it there.
Yep. Living on the government teat, as
Yep.
we like to say.
Yeah. That little teat's about wore out, I think, from everybody on it.
Yeah.
Especially with all the illegals on it.
Well, that's a whole other topic, isn't it?
Yeah. Might get to some of that today. All righty. Where to start? Let's start at the beginning. It's always a good place. A man in New York was recorded stealing a tow truck as his operator was repossessing his vehicle. Russell Leosa officially pled guilty to felony charges. Here is the moment that he stole the tow truck and tried to drive off while crashing into parked cars. I watched that video, and basically the repossessor had the rear end of his tow truck jacked way up as he was trying to get him out of a parking space. And the thief, or the one that was being repossessed, shoved the driver away, hopped in the truck, started going down the street. First thing he does is he left the door open to his own truck there that was being towed. And that hit another car and split that off. Then as he's going down the street, the truck being towed was kind of an angle, and it's bam, 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 as he hits car after car after car that were parked at the curb. Here's what it sounded like, so you can get a better mental visual look at it.
Put the truck down. Get away from this truck.
Stole my truck. That's crazy. Call the police, man.
Yeah.
The adrenaline was
When he
going.
went around the corner, the guy's truck that was being repossessed came off the tow and crashed down onto the street. So sometimes it's better not to let your temper get ahead of you. Pay your bill, they won't tow it. Pretty
And
much
this
that
happened
simple.
in New York, you said, right? Of course.
I think it was.
A bunch of Democrats.
Yeah, New York.
Bunch of nutty Democrats misbehaving as usual.
You're trampling on my rights. I'll take your truck. Holiday Inn Express is testing a scent-based alarm clock. That's right, it works like a diffuser, releasing the scent of coffee, bacon, and blueberry muffins. What about cheesecake? When it's time to wake up. But unfortunately, well, maybe you could just put your wife's flatulence in there. That'll wake you up. Anyway.
Hide the children, please.
But unfortunately, is not in the U.S. yet. Here is influencer Lily Turton talking about it, though.
What if your alarm clock didn't sound like this, but smelled like your favorite breakfast scent? Holiday Inn Express just launched the world's first breakfast alarm clock. It literally wakes you up to the smell of coffee, bacon, or blueberry muffin.
What smell would you like to wake up to? Fried eggs, scrambled eggs.
I think I would be partial to maybe freshly baked muffins.
That's a reasonable choice.
Yeah, like a banana nut muffin would be nice.
Or Captain Crunch cereal. Just saying. 22-year-old, what were you going to say?
Coffee is nice, too.
Yeah,
Coffee is a lovely aroma.
I think that'd be the number one pick from adults.
In the morning, yes.
A 22-year-old enrolled in Minnesota high school using false identity. What do you think? Here are concerned parents talking about the man that was attending White Bear High School.
They just feel very unsafe, and they were really hurt by it. I think we'll be having some pretty tough conversations.
How did it happen? My first initial reaction, I wasn't quite sure what to think, because it's like, how does a 22-year-old get into school? It just doesn't seem real. People need to be aware that there is a predator, not only in our neighborhood, but at our children's school.
You never know who you're with, and why did this man have access to all these students?
I don't know. The school being named White Bear High School, maybe it's named after a Native American, because they use names like that.
Could be.
Yeah. All righty.
Grin and bear it, I guess, in this case.
Let's see. You know, today's kids, they all tend to want to be the center of attention, no matter what it takes. But sometimes what they thought was a great performance turns out to be a bunch of crap. Here is virtual video of an actress having a meltdown. Why? Well, Brittany Ray Carrera had friends over just to view her and watch her scene from the new Glenn Powell movie, Chad Powers. Couple of them were recording when she discovered, hey, they reshot my scene. In other words, they cut her out and put somebody new in, I guess because she sucked at what she was doing. Yeah, you'll hear who replaced her in this thing.
With the dopest people, we got my...
Wait, no, this is my scene.
We've been together for what, like...
This is my scene. I'm responding to what he's saying right now.
We got Haley, Tua...
Well... Wait, what? Tua? They literally... This is my scene!
Sister!
Did you come in later?
No, this is literally my scene. I'm responding to what he's saying.
All right,
We
then
filmed
I gotta
this.
make an announcement.
You were not in this scene!
Russ Holiday...
Oh my god! I just literally just realized that I can't replace my Hawk Tua! Hawk Tua!
Yeah, Hawk Tua. T-U-A-H. Tua.
Do you really think it's a good idea to remind people how mentally ill our society is?
You know, it's hard to tell if this is real or fake. For some reason, though, it was posted on an Australian TV news site, not American. Brittany's current IMDb page doesn't list Chad Powers as one of her credits. But Hawk Tua, I guess, gets the credit. All right. Late night boys in business last night. Got Myers and Colbert, his real name, ponying up why they are considered Munich boys.
An Egyptian wrestler recently attempted to break a Guinness World Record by pulling a 700-ton ship across water by a rope with his teeth. The record was for richest dentist.
58 million pounds of corn dogs and sausage on a stick have been recalled over wood pieces in the batter after the company received multiple customer complaints. Really? Who is making that call? Excuse me. I would like to complain about my corn dog. It made me sick, but in unexpected ways.
The makers of Progresso Soup have announced that they will offer a new limited edition deodorant, and like their soup, it'll come in regular and chunky style.
Tony Hawk's skateboard from his landmark 1999 900 trick sold for about $1.15 million at auction last week. And if you at home remember that legendary skateboarding moment, this is a great time to remind you to schedule your colonoscopy.
Don't you dare laugh at that
Oh,
crap.
boy. I'm glad I don't stay up to watch these clowns, I tell you.
Well, this may be one of the most important causes that needs your immediate attention.
You've seen them in front of the grocery store. Wobbly, oddly shaped. For too long, they spend this time of the year without a home. Now you can change that. This fall season, pick up a fumpkin. That's the term for a f***ed-up pumpkin. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can provide a home for fumpkins that would otherwise spend Halloween unloved because they're shaped like something obscene, or like the Elephant Man's head, or even worse, the ones that have some sort of pumpkin herpes growing on it. But that's not their fault. They were living things in a pumpkin patch. Now they just need a home. So this fall, don't be a fumpkin idiot. Pick up a fumpkin.
Okay.
Okay. It sounds like something that actually Democrats would get behind in a big way, because they've got a lot of members of Congress who look like these so-called deformed pumpkins, I guess I would say.
Or another word would
be nice.
Would be an idiot.
Yeah. They've got
they had all these news sound bites of all these anti-continuing resolution Democrats saying we should not give health care to illegal aliens. We need to deport illegal aliens. But now today they say, oh, we want to extend health care to illegal aliens.
Yeah,
they
I
might
don't
be a
get that.
Democratic voter one day.
I don't get it. And you know what? The government shutdown is all the thrill is gone from that. Nobody cares. It's actually a good thing to have fewer of these useless card punchers sitting at their metal desks in the bowels of nondescript buildings, doing nothing and taking long lunches. So I'm fine with it.
Well, are you a baseball fan?
Sure.
Well, yesterday in the Major League Baseball wild card games,
yes,
the Dodgers beat the Reds in 2 games to advance to the NLDS.
Oh.
The other teams have their deciding games today. They include Detroit and Cleveland, San Diego against the Cubs, and the Red Sox versus the Yankees. Those damn Yankees.
That would be the Cleveland Indians, right? We don't call them the Guardians, of course. That's a ridiculous name.
Right. Screw all that politically correct
The Cleveland
stuff.
Guardians, it makes them sound like they're a group of adults who look after homeless children or something. It's ridiculous.
Well, speaking of baseball, for Throwback Thursday, let's go back to the year 1996. What rock band recorded this for Major League Baseball?
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
Do you recall?
Well, they certainly mangled that beautiful lyric. No, I don't know. I don't recall.
The Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, of course.
Goo Goo Dolls.
I prefer singing it, the rendition by Harry Carey.
Yeah, well.
The great Cubs announcer.
The legendary Harry Carey is
I
no
won.
longer with us.
No, he's not. But what a character he was. What an authentic American original he was.
Taylor Swift is the only female, quote, artist to sell 100 million albums. The Van Gogh Museum may close. These are just a couple of the not headline news.
This is not headline news. Taylor Swift is now the only female artist to sell 100 million albums and 65 variants of the same album to every 13-year-old girl in America. The Dutch government may let the Van Gogh Museum close rather than pay for its upkeep. I'll keep an ear out for the update on that story. Scientists finally caught the elusive leopard shark having sex, and it turns out it was a threesome. The male shark reportedly told his wife, "I just want to try it one time, it'll never happen again." And 52% of American parents are going to DIY their kids' costumes in order to save money. not realizing the kids will pay 10 times that much for therapy from all the bullying. This is not headline news.
Another not headline news, scientists finally caught the elusive leopard shark having sex. And turns out it was a threesome. You can watch the entire thing on OnlyFins.
Wow. Who writes your stuff?
Well, the founder of ChatGPT says AI will pass human intelligence by 2030. Then he remembered Rob Gronkowski and said, well, make it today. 52% of American parents are going to DIY their kids' costumes in order to save money, not realizing they'll pay 10 times as much for therapy from all that bullying.
Good point.
Yeah, your costume looks like your mother made it.
I would
with a hunk of junk.
I would actually advise parents to subtly ignore Halloween because it's a ridiculous waste of time.
Yeah, when you were a kid, you enjoyed it, going door to door.
I don't know.
People throwing free candy in your little bag.
I don't know if I enjoyed it that much, really.
I did. We would head straight to the apartments, cover a lot of front doors in a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. You know, knock, 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 knock. And everybody coming out and saying, oh, how cute. Shut up and throw it in, lady.
Wow, I see. Well, would that be in Raleigh? You were apartment hopping?
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Well, I grew up.
I did it the long way with one house at a time. They're spread out. You know, back then, houses were on decent-sized lots.
Right.
And took a lot of hoofing to make a lot of territory.
Well, I grew up in a leafy suburb of Northern Virginia. We didn't have
What?
A leafy suburb.
Leafy
We didn't have apartment buildings. Good God.
Oh, no, not in our area.
Certainly
We had
not.
to make room for Ted Kennedy and his bridges.
Certainly not. My gosh.
Jane Goodall, famous for decades of work with primates, died yesterday. Jane knew so much about chimpanzees that she was hired as a consultant on Jersey Shore. Ariana Grande posted an attack on President Trump. I believe that's called orange on orange violence.
Wouldn't you know it, yeah.
Some players on Survivor were cut for disrespecting the rules of the show. That's right. They actually ate. There's no eating here. You must look starved.
Really?
And then the stress.
They just lined up at the buffet, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, they give you a bag of rice for each one of the tribes, and you have to make it spread out. And of course, you got to be able to start a fire to cook it. And you have to have flint to do that. You have to earn your flint. And so you may go several days, maybe a week or so, before you can get fire from flint. You can always go out there and rub the sticks. Before I would go on that show, I would definitely get on YouTube and find out how to make a fire the hard way. Because I watched a guy demonstrating, and it was one of those luau's in Hawaii that they have. And this one guy was sitting down with a couple and just so easily just scratching the wood with a stick and rubbing up what they call a coal. There's this piece of the wood that got a little ember on it. And then so calmly just taking the ember and throwing it on some, what do they call it, the starter stuff. The tinder.
Tinder? Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say charcoal briquettes.
No, tinder. And he goes, whoosh, and he makes the fire look so easy, but it's not.
Wow.
He's done it every day for 30 years. He just makes it look easy.
Well, let's not invite that guy down here into the studio. Things could get a little tense.
But it was interesting to watch. A comedy festival is taking place in Saudi Arabia. The biggest names and stand-ups will be there, and in Kevin Hart's case, also the smallest. And Taylor Swift is now the only female artist to sell A, 100 million albums, B, 200 million albums, or C, 65 variants of the same album to every 13-year-old girl in America. Okay.
I'll go with all of the above.
All of the above. Did that. Chi-Chi restaurants. Remember that?
Chi-Chi?
Mexican restaurants. They had them in Raleigh.
Chi-Chi?
Chi-Chi.
Oh, okay.
C-H-I.
Yeah, I kind of remember those, I guess.
They didn't want to pay the royalties to Happy Birthday because it's a national chain. So they came up with their own Happy Birthday song where they get all the waiters and waitresses together to come to your table and they go, Happy Birthday, Happy Birthday, Happy Birthday to our guests. Happy birthday, Happy Birthday. Chi-Chi wishes you the best.
Wow.
Olé.
Was that one of your side gigs? Working
no,
at Chi-Chi's?
I went to Chi-Chi's a fair amount of times.
Oh.
And one time, unfortunately, was my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Nitwit ex-wife got sucked the damn, sicked the waiters and waitresses on me.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Happy birthday. If you don't get away from my table, I'll throw this Chi-Chi margarita on you. Happy birthday.
There you go. Such memories.
You remember the jingle.
Okay, great. I guess Chi-Chi's has been replaced by Chewy's. There was a Chewy's up there in North Hills, Raleigh.
I don't recall that. Must have been after I left Raleigh.
Yeah. Well, Raleigh's never been the same since.
It hasn't.
That's right.
I'm the one that made Raleigh. Raleigh used to look a lot like it does here, between Southern Pines, Pinehurst, and Aberdeen, where you could get around in a reasonable amount of time. And development took over, and the Beltline got put in. That's what really set Raleigh to growing. And they also got adequate water and sewer. They put in Falls Lake to get that water. And they always had the sewer. And that's what developments must have to put any kind of density into the land. But, and that's what happened in Raleigh. And now you know what Raleigh is. It looks like a mini New York, where it's very slow going everywhere. Get on the Beltline, it turns into a slow-moving parking lot during rush hour.
Quite frequently it does. You are correct.
Yeah.
And Six Forks Road is one of the
I remember when that was 2 lanes.
Yeah, well, it's one of the most harrowing thoroughfares that you can find anywhere in
well, they got
United
1,000
States.
stoplights now because they got all these shops and everything with little mini shopping centers there. And
yes,
North Hills, I was there when it first opened. It was the first indoor shopping mall Raleigh had.
Yeah.
And
they had the J.C. Penney up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now been completely torn down and completely reimagined, and they put new North Hills back up there. A lot of it's outdoors now, where you go little shop to little shop outdoors.
Correct.
And then they have a closed-in area.
And across the street, there are about, I don't know, half a dozen office building towers now and apartment complexes.
Yeah. Cameron Brown, which is a mortgage company, they had a tall building there with a heliport on top. That was a big thing back then. I saw it get used one time on grand opening when they flew a helicopter in there. All right now here in the Sand Hills area, we're looking at sunny skies, 52 degrees on our way for a high of 73. All your weather, news and sports starts now.
Beautiful fall weather returns just in time for October. Tonight, it's mostly clear and cooler. You may want to have an extra layer at night and in the morning. Lows dip into the low to mid-50s with a few upper 40s in more rural locations. Thursday, it's partly cloudy and still pretty breezy. Highs are in the low to mid-70s with lower humidity. Friday, another gorgeous fall day, partly cloudy with highs in the low to mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center. weather.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. An attack on a synagogue in the UK. It happened on the holiest day on the Jewish calendar, has turned deadly.
Police say 2 victims have died. 3 others are in critical condition following the attack near Manchester, England. Police say a car was driven in a crowd and a man was stabbed outside the synagogue in North Manchester. The incident, which occurred on Yom Kippur, is over now, police having shot and killed the assailant.
Correspondent George Williams. Prime Minister Starmer ordering additional police deployments at synagogues across the UK. The government shutdown drags on. Now in day 2, the Senate will take another vote tomorrow on a Republican-backed stopgap bill to reopen things. In the meantime, federal workers are in limbo. Bill Wade, with the Association of National Park Rangers, says that park visitors will feel the impact of the shutdown.
You know, they won't find visitor centers open usually. They won't find custodial maintenance in some places. There will be limited emergency response in many of the areas.
And the White House threatening mass federal worker layoffs.
A presidential spokesperson said government agencies are already preparing for cuts, even as Vice President J.D. Vance insisted no final decisions have been made. Typically during shutdowns, federal employees are furloughed and they receive back pay once the government reopens. But President Trump has directed the White House Budget Office and cabinet secretaries to identify jobs to be cut. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said, "We believe that layoffs are imminent." Greg Clugston, Washington.
Hamas says it's still considering its response to President Trump's peace proposal aimed at ending the nearly 2-year war in Gaza. On Wall Street this morning, Dow features 44 points lower. More on these stories, townhall.com.
The anniversary of Israel's October 7th, 2023 terrorist attack is now upon us, and on this date, the world will come together to honor the 1,200 souls murdered and remember those still held in captivity. It's a day to stand with family members whose grief is inconsolable. What happened 2 years ago also unleashed attacks on Jewish people everywhere. These anti-Semitic threats and deadly acts of violence are immense, and they're constant. And that's why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews created Flags of Fellowship. Now, a growing movement, Flags of Fellowship, is a bold way to stand up for what you believe, a way to tangibly support the people of Israel and Jews everywhere simply by planting an Israeli flag. You can join this historic movement by giving just $25 to help plant flags to support the Fellowship's work of saving and rebuilding lives in Israel and wherever God's people are in need. To learn more, visit ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org.
A closer look at part of Ukraine's war strategy. It involves trying to bring Russia's energy industry to its knees.
Motorists in parts of Russia and occupied Ukraine have been posting videos showing long queues at petrol stations amid fuel shortages and rising prices sparked by Ukrainian drone strikes on oil refineries. The strikes peaked in August when 14 refineries were targeted and continued into September. Vladimir Milov, a former Russian deputy energy minister who's now an opposition politician, told the BBC that the Ukrainians appeared to be pursuing 2 targets: large refineries essential to civilian supplies and those closer to the front line used to supply Russian troops.
The BBC's Olga Robinson. Nearly 60 teen students still unaccounted for 3 days after their school building collapsed in Indonesia. Authorities say they have detected no further signs of life amid the mountains of concrete and other debris. News and analysis, townhall.com. A new major partner is taking a stake in a couple of crucial mining projects in Nevada.
The U.S. government is taking a minority stake in what's developing into one of the world's largest lithium mines. The Department of Energy is taking a 5% equity stake in Lithium Americas, which is developing the mine in northern Nevada. The company is based in Vancouver. The Energy Department is also taking a 5% stake in the Thacker Pass lithium mining project, a joint venture with General Motors, which is considered crucial in reducing U.S. reliance on China for lithium. I'm Donna Warder.
The Supreme Court is allowing Lisa Cook to remain as a Federal Reserve governor for now. the court declining to act on the Trump administration's effort to immediately remove her. In a brief unsigned order, the High Court says it will hear arguments in January over President Trump's attempt to force Cook off the Fed board. More on these stories at townhall.com.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Meet Sarah, wife, mother of two, busy professional, and caring daughter, trying to balance work and family. Sarah needed help caring for her aging parents, so Sarah reached out to Griswold Care Parenting.
Griswold found a fantastic caregiver who took incredible care of my parents. Our Griswold caregiver gave me peace of mind, knowing they were looking after my parents like I would.
When you need help caring for a loved one, call me, Robert Bonville, at Griswold Care Parenting of Pinehurst, 910-420-2360, or go online to griswoldcare.com/Pinehurst.
Building or purchasing your dream home, adding a new fence, or maybe you're purchasing or dividing land. If so, precision matters. Before you break ground on that next project, contact DZT Land Surveying first. Whether it's residential or commercial, our fully licensed expert team provides accurate, reliable surveys to ensure your land is marked right the first time. We handle everything from property boundaries, construction layouts, to infrastructure projects. So schedule your quote by calling 910-420-1325 and avoid future issues. Trust DZT Land Surveying for all your survey needs.
Is your land lost under a jungle of brush and overgrowth? Call the pros at Tar Heel Brush Mulching. With over 20 years of experience in land management, we turn wild, unusable land into clean, manageable space fast, affordable, and done right the first time. Whether it's for farming, hunting, or just reclaiming land, our high-powered mulchers and brush cutters chew through the roughest terrain. Trust the team that knows land management and has the gear to master it. For a free estimate, call veteran-owned Tar Heel Brush Mulching at 910-638-8318.
This is Patrick McBrayer at the Insurance Center in Southern Pines. With so many changes to Medicare this year, along with carriers pulling out of the market, there has never been a more important time to have a local, trusted agent to help guide you through your options. We have a team of agents ready, some who used to work for First Medicare Direct, to help you guide you through your annual enrollment. Call us today to schedule your appointment at 910-692-9251 or visit us online at sandhills-ins.com.
Since 1980, Roberts Golf Shop has been providing great service and great deals on new and used clubs. They're an authorized Caddy Talk Cube retailer, and they also carry apparel from brands like Nextbell and Greg Norman. Roberts Golf Shop also performs custom fittings and repairs. With the area's largest selection of women's and juniors clubs and apparel, you must visit Roberts Golf Shop today at 1310 North Sandhills Boulevard in Aberdeen or online at robertsgolf.com.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. The Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumbers, but also the most knowledgeable plumbers. Before any of our employees are hired, all of the employees must undergo drug testing and a thorough background check. If they don't pass, they aren't hired. No exceptions. Once they're hired and part of the team, they receive continuous technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at their trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com. If you're like most folks, you love your home. You love your neighborhood and those that live around you. But when you go inside your home, you see that it is in need of a massive updating, especially those bathrooms, kitchen, and great room. You know that these areas need upgrading, but you also know what a task it is to do it yourself. Hi, I'm Steve Leader Adams, and I've built over 2,000 homes, and I and my partner Larry Postawade have over 70 years of construction experience. and have our own remodeling business called Relive It Remodeling. We also pride ourselves on making remodeling jobs an easy and enjoyable process for our clients. We look after everything from permits to the last paint stroke. We also show up when we promise and stay until completion. And we also recycle any materials through the Wounded Warrior program. And here's one more promise. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does better quality work than we do. For your next renovation job, give me a call right here at WEEB at 692-7440 or check us out on the web at reliveitremodeling.com.
At NCI News, I'm Mike Riley. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that roughly 750,000 federal employees will be furloughed each day of the shutdown. UNC Chapel Hill economics professor Gerald Cohen says the pain will be felt in North Carolina, including the Triangle area.
In the Triangle area, there are over 13,000 federal employees, and I'm guessing many of them will be furloughed. Yes, they will be ultimately paid, hopefully assuming that this potential layoff issue doesn't happen.
Congresswoman Deborah Ross, meanwhile, says the fault of the government shutdown lies solely on the Trump administration. During a Zoom meeting, she said,
the House is not scheduled to be back in session until next Tuesday because Speaker Johnson refuses to bring the Republicans back.
President Trump says it's the Democrats' fault. At least 2 people have died after a car and stabbing attack at a synagogue today. This happened in the northern city of Manchester. Today is Yom Kippur, the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. London Mayor Sadiq Khan.
The police service will be stepping up high visibility policing in and around synagogues in London.
A new Gallup poll looks at those who have military experience and whether Americans would like to see them on the ballot for political office. 8 in 10 Americans believe military veterans have strong leadership skills.
In the Marine Corps, for example, the average age of the average Marine is barely 20 years old. And by the time they reach 20 years old, the average Marine will be responsible for at least 3 other Marines' lives.
Pollster Bill Anderson, 7 unoccupied houses along North Carolina's Outer Banks collapsed into the ocean Tuesday and Wednesday as Hurricane Umberto and Imelda rumbled in the Atlantic. Residents in a neighborhood in Buxton.
I'm just shocked. Can't imagine this happens anywhere else. 5 collapses within like 1 hour.
You're listening to NCN News.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
The White House is asking 9 top universities to pledge their support for President Trump's policies in exchange for preferential access to federal research funds. CBS's Michael Wallace has that.
The 10-page compact would require the universities to freeze tuition for 5 years, cap enrollment of international students, ban the use of race or sex in admissions and hiring, commit to strict definitions of gender, and abolish departments the White House says punish, belittle, and even spark violence against conservative ideas. The letters were sent to the University of Arizona, Brown, Dartmouth, MIT, Penn, USC, the University of Texas, Vanderbilt, and the University of Virginia.
North Carolina State University is suing Monsanto over toxic chemicals found at the university's shuttered Education and Psychology building, Poe Hall. The lawsuit, filed in Wake County Superior Court, alleges Monsanto knowingly marketed and concealed the risk of toxic PCBs which are in the building. Rough surf and rip currents are keeping many people out of the water from North Carolina beaches, as Hurricane Imelda impacts places like Wrightsville Beach. Jake is a frequent surfer there and tells CBS 17.
I'd say it's pretty gnarly today. We don't get these long period swells like this, waves this size that often, so it's always nice going out here when it's like this.
In Europe, rising concern about an increasing emboldened Russia.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. The leaders of more than 40 countries are meeting for a second day in Denmark as Russian incursions into EU and NATO airspace appear to be escalating. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen.
I think everybody underestimated how big a threat Russia actually is.
Ukraine's President Zelensky told the leaders Russia's using drones to divide them. He said they must unite to fight back. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Good Thursday morning. We start your day with mostly clear skies and temperatures in the low to mid 50s. By this afternoon, highs will reach the low to mid 70s. We'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies with highs reaching the low to mid 70s. Some places with increased cloud cover could see slightly cooler conditions. Overnight tonight, mostly clear with temperatures at around 50 by Friday morning. Then highs Friday will reach the mid 70s. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies once again. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sandhills area, we have sunny skies, 52 degrees. Humidity 99%, dew points holding at 52. Winds are calm, pressure is 30-35. It's 8:15 straight up. Let's take a look at your Sandhills news for this Thursday morning. A man was taken into custody on the scene of a serious crash near Carthage town limits Wednesday evening. According to officials on scene, the driver of the Chevrolet Colorado was traveling west out of Carthage when he told authorities that he allegedly swerved to miss another car. This caused him to lose control and run off the opposite side of the road before clipping a road sign and driving down into a steep culvert. The truck then went airborne, flipped end over end, finally coming to a stop on his roof. How fast was he going? He initially fled the scene, but returned shortly thereafter, and authorities took him into custody for DWI. Big surprise there, and at least one other charge. And deputies also arrested 4 people Thursday after a search in Robbins reportedly produced suspected fentanyl, methamphetamine, marijuana, clozapam, drug paraphernalia, and 2 firearms. According to the sheriff's office, the findings come after detectives executed a warrant on September 30th in the 400 block of Rushwood Road in Robbins. Arrested were Jeremy Davison, 30 of Robbins, bond set at $107,500. I guess he was the key player because the rest of the bonds are a lot lower. Also arrested Megan McIntyre, 30 of Robbins, bond was $7,500. Jan Teisinger, 20 of Seagrove, a bond of $7,500. And the 4th person arrested, Corey Huzzy, 26 of Robbins, facing drug charges, and he was booked on a 48-hour hold. That's your latest Sandhills news this morning from the Sandhill Sentinel, and of course you can always go to sandhillsentinel.com for more information. It is 8:18. Sports is next, right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB.
Stay in the game with the Clark Chevrolet Cadillac Sports Report. Family owned and operated for over half a century, they do it all. Sales, service, parts, collision repair, and they never charge a dock fee. Nestled in the heart of Pinehurst, Clark Chevrolet Cadillac, fueling your passion for sports.
NCN Sports, I'm Tony Rixby. Brian Snitker, who managed the Atlanta Braves to the 2021 World Series championship as the highlight of almost a half century with the organization, stepping down as manager, retiring. He'll move into an advisory role. The Braves also announced that he will be inducted into the team's Hall of Fame next year. Snitker says it was the role of a lifetime.
I never thought I'd hoist a trophy or be around a group of guys that makes this so special.
Snitker led the Braves to 811 wins, 6 division titles, and that 2021 World Series championship in 10 seasons as manager. He managed the Durham Bulls in the 1980s. The Los Angeles Dodgers advancing to the National League Division Series. Last night they broke open a game with a 4-run sixth inning, beating the Cincinnati Reds 8-4. Bo Naylor homered during a 5-run eighth inning. The Cleveland Guardians evened their American League wildcard series against the Detroit Tigers with a 6-1 victory in Game 2. The decisive Game 3 is today. Likewise, where the Yankees beat the Red Sox 4-3 in Game 2, decisive Game 3 today. Manny Machado hit a 2-run homer. Mason Miller dominated again. The San Diego Padres beat the Chicago Cubs 3-0 to send their NL wildcard game to a decisive third game today as well. The York Revolution overcame an early 3-0 deficit, hit 5 home runs en route to a 7-4 win over the High Point Rockers and capturing the Atlantic League Championship for the second consecutive season Wednesday night at Truist Point in High Point. Paul Tomoni has been introduced as the new president of baseball operations with the Washington Nationals. He says he wants to build the highest performing organization in all of sports. You're listening to NCN Sports.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Listen on radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com. Carolina Newsmakers is presented in part by the North Carolina Academy of Family Physicians, advancing family medicine in North Carolina since 1947.
Officials of soccer's global governing body are pushing back against President Trump's claim that he can alter the World Cup schedule. Correspondent Gethin Coolball.
U.S. President Donald Trump has been reminded that FIFA and not government ultimately decides which cities will host World Cup games. Trump suggested last week he could declare cities not safe for the 104-game soccer tournament that the U.S., Canada, and Mexico co-host next summer. That would alter a detailed hosting plan that includes New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. FIFA's vice president from Canada, Victor Montagliani, says in London, quote, "It's FIFA's tournament, FIFA's jurisdiction." I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
Thursday night football tonight. The San Francisco 49ers will be in Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
Sometimes you just want to say,
"Silence! Lay down!"
Do you have somewhere to be? I've traveled all across the fabric of space-time.
97.3 FM and 990 AM. WEEB. We've got you by the ears.
From start to finish, we get the job done right. Professional and caring, you're comfortable day or night. We're the local family, you can count on us. Right there, right on time, the ones you come to trust. 4 Seasons Heating and Air. Get comfortable with us.
4 Seasons in West End on Highway 211, 910-235-0606.
Garage door broken? If it is, your home is not as safe as it could be. Call Superior Overhead Doors today. Whether you need repairs or full replacement, you can count on us. With over 20 years of experience, no job is too big. Active duty military receive $20 off repairs and $50 off installation. So call Superior Overhead Doors today at 910-992-6227 or visit us online at superioroverheaddoorsllc.com for a free estimate. An alternative to public schools, Lee Christian School takes great pride in teaching quality academics while instilling biblical principles in students' lives. With a new STEM lab, a 16-to-1 student-teacher ratio, and a 95% college acceptance rate, Lee Christian School is committed to your child's future. Lee Christian is proud to offer amazing athletics like football and esports. For more information, visit leechristian.org or call 919-708-5115.
now offering in-home sales consulting. Hi, this is Catherine Phelps, owner of Appliances and More, where creating relationships is our business. No matter if you're replacing, remodeling, or building a new home, Appliances and More now offers in-home sales consulting in the comfort of your own home. This will allow you to find the right appliance that fits your individual needs. Remember, low price guarantee, price match policy, we will not be undersold. Contact Appliances and More, featuring Caraloha in the Town and Country Shopping Center, Aberdeen.
With me now is retired Air Force Colonel Andy Orander. Of course, Andy, you've had some recent pain. Tell us about that, as well as what you decided to do about it.
Yeah, I had some issues with my L5 and S1 joint, walking around like Walter Brennan, a lot of pain. And I went to a chiropractor. It was Dr. Wright at Pinecone, and she did this thing called pressure wave, and I highly recommend that to everybody.
Was it easier than you thought, or was it a painful experience?
It was non-painful, non-invasive. It's something I never really knew about.
And did it work, and would you gladly recommend it?
Absolutely, 100% it worked. I'd never heard of it before, and I recommend it to everybody I meet who have any kind of pain, arthritis.
If you're suffering from pain, why not schedule a free, no-obligation appointment with Dr. Sharon Wright at Pinecone Medical Center? Call 910-420-1911 or visit on the web at pineconemedicalcenter.com.
Meet Leroy. After a recent illness, he found himself struggling to care for both himself and his beloved wife.
After I got sick with pneumonia, it was hard to keep up with all the things I needed to do, like care for my wife, the house, just everything. So my daughter did some research into caregivers, and we decided to contact Griswold Care Parent. What we liked about Griswold was the flexibility and services they provided.
Griswold understands the challenges Leroy faces. Our caregivers provide the support he and his wife needed in the comfort of their own home.
Having a Griswold caregiver that we can rely on makes all the difference.
For compassionate care tailored to your needs, call me, Robert Bonville, at Griswold Care Parent of Pinehurst, 910-420-2360. That's 910-420-2360. Or go online to griswoldcare.com/Pinehurst.
If you're in the market for a new car, there are a lot of reasons to make the short drive to Cooper Ford in Carthage, but it really comes down to just two: exceptional customer service and the lowest prices guaranteed. Cooper Ford is proud to be the only locally owned Ford dealership in Moore County, and they're also proud to announce that once again they've won the coveted Ford President's Award for an unprecedented 5th year in a row. Online at cooperford.net. The locally owned, award-winning Cooper Ford in Carthage, always working hard to be your hometown dealer.
Hi, this is Catherine Phelps. My husband Joe and I are the owners of Appliances and More in Aberdeen. We advertise on WEEB because we get results. Every day, someone comes in and tells us they heard about us on the radio. Come in and ask us in person about how successful radio advertising can be for you and your business. Find your new customers by advertising on WEEB.
Don't miss Taking Aim, presented by the Marketplace Restaurant and Catering, every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. with your hosts David Hensley and Steve Woodward. Listen to them expose hypocrisy, deception, and woke agendas in government and education at the federal, state, and local levels. Join David and Steve as they call on conservatives to stand up in the bold new era of MAGA dominance under Donald Trump 2.0. Listen to Taking Aim Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on WEEB.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
This is Steve Woodward teeing off. Did you know that Moore County elementary schools are unprotected by security personnel who are armed and trained to respond to an active shooter? Incentives such as salary increases have failed to attract qualified hires. Meanwhile, the County Board of Education is on the brink of approving a $340,000 contract with a provider of unarmed watch guards. Is this a temporary solution or an act of delusion? Interim Moore County Schools Police Chief Ricky Gooch said unarmed security deters crimes by their presence alone. School board member Ken Benway, a retired military officer, proposed a more practical path to reducing the school system's shortage of trained security personnel. He advises fellow board members that potential security hires might be discovered by seeking qualified candidates in neighboring municipalities. Benway also issued a chilling reality alert. We live in a less safe world, made so by years of unchecked illegal immigration into the homeland. We have hundreds of thousands of fighting-age men that have come into our country, says Benway. We don't know where they are, but that's the capability that we have to account for. I'm Steve Woodward, teed off again.
Beautiful fall weather returns just in time for October. Tonight, it's mostly clear and cooler. You may want to have an extra layer at night and in the morning. Lows dip into the low to mid-50s with a few upper 40s in more rural locations. Thursday, it's partly cloudy and still pretty breezy. Highs are in the low to mid-70s with lower humidity. Friday, another gorgeous fall day, partly cloudy with highs in the low to mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
It's Thursday.
Hey, wait a minute. I've got a great idea.
I've got a great idea. Listen up.
Let's put on a show.
That is a good idea. No, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. What kind of a show?
Super sexy cool.
What kind of show you think I'm doing here?
Have you ever met him in person?
You look a lot better when you can't tell what you look like.
Have you ever seen my show?
You're on radio and not on television.
They got faces for radio.
And now for a little radio.
Here we go.
It's showtime. You boys ever met a real country girl? Talking true blue, out in the woods, down home, country. She's a hot little number in her pickup truck. Daddy Sweet Money done jacked it up. She's a party all-nighter from South Carolina. A bad mama jammer from down in Alabama. She's a raging Cajun lunatic from Brunswick, juicy Georgia peach with a thick southern drawl, sexy swinging walk. Brother, she's all country. Shoot, from her cowboy boots to her down home roots, she's country. From the song she plays to the prayer she prays, that's the way she was born and raised. She ain't afraid to stay country. Brother, she's country. Hill raising sugar when the sun goes down. Mama taught her how to rip up the town. Honey dripping honey from the holler in Kentucky. Get you flipping kind of trippy like a Mississippi hippie. She's a Kansas princess, crazy mother trucker, undercover lover, thick southern drawl, sexy swinging walk. Brother, she's all country.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Hey, welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams along with Stephen Woodward this morning. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, LeaderMan. Good morning, everybody, on this thoughtful Thursday in the Sandhills.
Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on the live audio and video streams. Those are available from our website homepage. To get to that, you go to talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Upper right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says On the Air, Listen Live. Click that once and you're listening to our broadcast signal. If you're on there and you want to see our video, live in-studio video with the sound, you go to that blue sentence right there at the top middle of the page where it says watch live video and replay of Mornings with the LeaderMan. Click that and you're watching that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. Well, it's going to be Sunny today, 73 for a high. In other words, picture perfect. Tonight, clear, good sleeping weather, 49. Tomorrow, sunny, 75. Saturday, 78. Sunday, 79. Mondays, yeah, back to work. 81 degrees, 82 on Tuesday. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are calm. Pressure's 30-35. Dew point at 52. Where was that in the summer? Humidity 99%. We have sunny skies and 52 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB.
Brother, she's country. From her cowboy boots to her down home roots, nothing but country. Yeah, she's country. From her
Little Jason Aldean, she's country. All right, 8:35 past the hour on this Hump Thursday morning. Glad you made us a part of your day. Okay, I think I'm through with that. Get rid of that. All right, moving on. Our stand-up comic spotlight today is Ralph Barbosa, talking about taking a bus to another city out there.
I've been fortunate enough to get to travel a little bit, which is cool. I took a $25 bus ride from Dallas to Houston one time. It's like a 4-hour drive. I remember thinking, man, $25 and they take you to a whole other city? That's a great deal. Then the driver started screaming at us. I started to understand the pricing a little more. He was like, 2 things before we get going on this drive I want to make very clear. 1, there's no smoking of any kind on my bus. Do not smoke. I don't care who you are. No smoking. I was like, all right. He's like, 2nd, nobody gets naked on my bus. He scared the hell out of me when he said that because there was only 3 of us on the bus. I was like, sir, do you know these 2? Then I felt offended with them because what look do the 3 of us have that when this man saw us, he was just like, don't get naked on the bus. I looked back at those other 2 guys, I was like, hey, he can't tell us what to do with our bodies.
Whoa. All right, let's do it. Huh?
Do you think people would pay extra for a naked smoking bus ride?
They might.
Yeah.
Good news is good news.
I have good news on good news on good news.
Good news, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get to some good news.
That's what I got for y'all today.
Okay, so what's the good news?
And the good news is...
Let's hear it.
All right, a bear named Chunk, C-H-U-N-K, Chunk. What's your name? Chunk. Won this year's Fat Bear Week contest. He managed to get himself nice and fattened up for winter, despite the fact that he had a broken jaw. Man, if he was at the San Diego Zoo, not only would they put him under and try to fix the jaw, if they couldn't, they'd kill him. They kill more animals there. They're the worst. Everybody has to come in for a procedure and they go, oh, he'll have to live with this for the rest of his life. Let's put him out of his misery.
Unless they're illegal immigrant animals, then they're treated like royalty.
Yeah. We need to put them on the other list. Euthanized at the first glance.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Everybody remembers their Piggly Wiggly, don't they? A Piggly Wiggly cashier in South Carolina gave a woman the wrong lottery ticket. Now, that's enough to bust your chops. But she didn't complain, no. She asked for a specific type, but he handed her one from a game called Palmetto Cash 5. It didn't have her normal numbers either. Boy, she's going to get more and more ticked off. But she rolled her eyes and rolled the dice anyway. She won $300,000. You think maybe God was directing that one?
I would think so, yes. I hope she shared with the employee.
The guy that made the mistake.
Yeah,
well, if you hadn't made a mistake, I would give you some, but I'm keeping it all. Who knows? It might have been $1 million winner.
Yeah, that guy.
A piglet that jumped off a truck on an Iowa highway will get to live out the rest of her life on a farm. Someone named her Peppa. A group called the Iowa Farm Sanctuary is taking her in. They say that she got some bruises and road rash, but she's otherwise okay. You know, pig has only two defenses. One is to run away, the other one is to squeal like crazy. I usually fall back on the squealing. Meh, meh, meh.
Well, she's lucky she didn't end up on a breakfast menu somewhere.
All right. Those are your good news story for today. Okay. Anything else I want to get from this list? Did that. That's it. Let's move on, shall we?
Yes, I think we shall.
Some things we need to know today so we don't sound stupid. Jane Goodall, the legendary zoologist who dedicated her life's work to the study of chimpanzees, has died. The conservationist died from natural causes on Wednesday morning at the age of 91. Joshua Allen, the season 4 winner of So You Think You Can Dance, he too has died in Fort Worth, Texas. He was 36. Doesn't say what he died from. ABC's High Potential returned to ABC, pulled in 12 million total multi-platform viewers after 7 days across ABC, Hulu, Disney Plus, and other digital platforms. A 28% lift over last year's series premiere. And you know why people watch that, don't you?
I have no idea.
Because the star female, who has great legs, is always wearing something short. Either short skirt, short shorts, you know, and they sure show them too. They don't like pan by it real fast. No, they lock it in and leave it there.
So you've concluded it has nothing to do with the content of the program.
The content's not all that great.
I see. Well, what do you know?
The shorts add to it. Kamala Harris' new book, 107 Days, sold 1/3 copies its first week, putting it on track to be the best-selling memoir published in 2025.
Good Lord.
Probably the only memoir published.
It'll probably be must reading in the Moore County High School library or something. Who would buy that book, for God's sakes?
Well, who would vote for her?
Well, yes, 107 people, at least, I guess.
Reading Rainbow is going to return to PBS after nearly 20 years, with former librarian Michael Tretz chosen as host.
Exciting! That they need somebody with some legs on that show too.
Yeah. Of course, he has to be the cool way of spelling Michael is Mychal.
Mikal. Okay.
Now, he says Michael on the actuality.
Sounds like a Soviet spy or something.
Amazon smart speakers now account for 60% of all smart speakers purchases. Whatever. In case you're needing something new to worry about, a paper from several NASA scientists and other researchers say there is an asteroid on the way in this direction that has a 4% chance of hitting the moon in 2032. No atmosphere there, so whatever hits it, hits it. Okay. Then there's the question, should we try to deflect it or blow it up? Because I hate to tell you, I watched a special on the moon one time and how important it is to Earth's existence. One of the things it has done is picked up on a lot of asteroids and became the target. That saved Earth from being targeted. Other things were, of course, its effect on our weather. And they say just a 1 or 2 degrees further in or out would have a huge effect on Earth's weather. So maybe it'd be a good thing to bump that thing out of the way, let it go about its way.
Shouldn't we leave that in the hands of our Creator?
You know, he gave us a brain for a reason.
I guess.
Figured this stuff out, bump it out of the way. He says, man, have you seen the universe? I got a whole lot to do here. Y'all handle this asteroid.
Well, maybe Jeff
there's another asteroid getting ready to come at Earth, but they say it will burn up in the atmosphere before it hits.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe Bezos can send up a rocket full of
celebrities,
idiot celebrities like Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg,
there you go.
So that they're on the moon
Joy
conveniently around the time of the fatal incident. You know,
Joy Behar saves the world. North Korea, their leader Kim Jong-un, has ordered North Koreans to check women for unsolicited breast implants.
What?
Unsolicited breast implants.
Huh.
Come here. I have to check to see if you have breast implants.
Oh.
And were they unsolicited?
They're banned in North Korea?
Probably.
Keeping abreast of the situation, I guess.
We don't want you looking like no hoe out there.
Well, come on now.
The most banned author in schools these days, Stephen King. That's because they take a whole school year to read one of his books. Only like 1,000 pages long.
No, it's because his books don't contain a lot of pornography and transgenderism.
Yeah, really.
That's what they like in the libraries nowadays.
A prequel series to Mel Brooks' 1974 Young Frankenstein, starring, that's how they said it back then.
Frankenstein, yes.
In fact, I got him on sound here in a second. Zach Galifianakis and Carrie Ewells is officially in the works at FX. Let me see if I can find that Young Frankenstein thing right quick. I'll find it. Here it is. Gene Wilder as Dr. Frankenstein says...
That's Frankenstein.
Say it again.
That's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Let's see.
Very nice. It actually sounds better that way, doesn't it?
It sounds more snooty, doesn't it? Listen.
That's Frankenstein.
It's Frankenstein with you, my friend. Fran Drescher, the nanny, was honored with her very own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Tuesday, which was also her 68th birthday. Next week, Def Leppard will get their own star in front of the Capitol Records building in L.A. The latest on the whole Nicole Kidman, Keith Urban thing, Nicole has officially filed for divorce. Interesting note, during a recent concert, Keith changed the lyrics to his song, The Fighter, a song he wrote about Kidman. And instead he referenced a guitar player that had joined his band, Maggie Braun. She's all of 25 years old. Now, you know we're under a government shutdown now. Some of those that have been in the past, you say, how long can we hold out?
We've gone over 30 days in the past.
Oh, yeah. Trump did it in 2019, 35 days.
Well, he didn't do it, but...
Well, it was under him.
It was during his his first term, yes.
Others, like Reagan in 87, lasted one day. He had another one in 86 one day. In 84, it was one day. Who is that calling me in the morning? What idiot is on the line? It looks like a First Health line. Don't you read the note? I'm on the air till 9. Idiot. Reagan had a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 CRs that weren't passed. That lasted 1 to 3 days was the most. Carter had a 17-day layover and Gerald Ford 11 days. Just to name a few.
Well, and let us remind everyone, as we always do, that this is a completely overhyped situation, calling it a government shutdown.
It's a Chuck Schumer, I need to save my ass in the next election. Shut down.
And furthermore, what shuts down is largely irrelevant, and what does not shut down are things that people might actually care about, like their Social Security payment checks, their Medicare and Medicaid coverage, air traffic control. All those things continue as normal. So it's just theatrics. It's nothing more than that. And in this case, the Democrats are literally failing to pass the continuing resolution just because they insist on a provision that would fund health care for illegal immigrants, among other things. But that's certainly the most glaring.
By all means, let's give them priority.
Yeah.
I told you my story last week about how I went up to the hospital after a horrible fall, and they said, we have a room ready for you. The last one they had in the emergency room area. They were wheeling me to it when all of a sudden an illegal alien pulled in front of me and went into that room. And the nurse said, oh, well, we'll park you right here in the hallway while we treat the undocumented, uninsured alien in front of you. I got up and left.
Did you get the license plate number of that of that gurney?
You think that really worked on my sympathy for illegal aliens? No. Within 2 minutes, he had a room full of Spanish people, all in Spanish. Well, I'm parked in the friggin' hallway with a pocket full of insurance.
Not a good. Not a good.
No, I got so much insurance I don't ever get hit with a bill ever.
That's great.
Insurance pays it all. Well, Mister, I don't have insurance. You have insurance? No, ma'am, I don't have insurance. You must be an illegal, undocumented alien.
They're not from France. No, they're rarely from France.
See. Oh, well, by all means, let's give you the better treatment.
By the way,
we'll let all the Moore County pay your bill for you since you're here illegally sucking off of our teats.
Hide the children, everybody. The LeaderMan is on a roll. By the way, you mentioned Mel Brooks. He was the first guest on Johnny Carson's first Tonight Show, which was...
when comedy was present in the late nights.
Yeah, it was October 1st, so yesterday was the anniversary date. October 1st, 1962.
All right, we got to get to hard trivia for you today. Thursday hard trivia. You do very well on these.
Thank you. That's because I drink hard liquor. But
What
anyway.
U.S. president said, you can fool all of the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time?
I'm going to go with Harry Truman.
No.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Before that.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Before him.
Before Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. There you go.
Well, thanks for giving me three shots at it.
What do you call a bunch of sheep?
Democrats? No. A flock?
No, Democrat lovers.
yeah. Bunch of sheep.
No, they call it a drove, flock, or herd.
Okay, well then flock is a correct answer.
What period of human culture followed the Stone Age and preceded the Iron Age?
The Stone Age, but preceded the Iron Age. The Paleozoic era.
The Bronze Age.
Bronze?
Yeah.
Oh. Bronze. James Bronze.
On February 25th, 1964, brash, overconfident phenomenon Cassius Clay gained his first heavyweight boxing title when he knocked out which champion? Cassius Clay, of course, being Muhammad Ali later.
The year was 1964.
No, who did he knock out? It was 64.
It was 64, and he knocked out. Oh gosh, I used to know these things.
Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston. That's right. It was not Joe Frazier. I was going to say Smoking Joe Frazier, but that would come later. Sonny Liston, probably at Madison Square Garden.
What is the largest selling brand of motorcycles, not only in the U.S., but in the world?
Well, my gut tells me it's got to be Harley Davidson. Not. Really?
Honda.
Honda?
Aye, dingle
That's
sign.
ridiculous.
I would have said the same thing.
Honda.
What are California's 3 toughest maximum security state prisons? These are all famous.
Do I get multiple choice or?
No, there are 3 of them. Just name them.
Alcatraz, San Quentin.
San Quentin, not Alcatraz.
Because Alcatraz is closed. San Quentin.
Alcatraz is out there in San Francisco Bay.
San Francisco, yeah. Alcatraz is not one of them. San Quentin is one.
San Quentin is.
And there's 2 others.
Pelican Bay and Soledad.
Soledad,
whatever.
Oh, I don't know those things because I'm not a mass murderer, so I wouldn't be aware of those.
What is created when a horse and a donkey pull around?
Let's see, a candidate for the U.S. Congress? No.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. A horse and a donkey when they mate.
A Democrat.
When they mate.
Yeah. What is the offspring called?
A horse and a donkey.
A mule.
Really?
Yeah.
By the way, if you hate to go to school, you may grow up to be a mule.
When this 6-letter word is capitalized, it refers to a European country and language. When it's not capitalized, it means to make smooth or shiny. What is the word?
It's 6 letters.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's capitalized, it represents what?
A European country and language.
6 letters. To make smooth or shiny.
Polish.
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 Polish or polish.
For the country.
I probably
polish for the shining.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have ever gotten that one. These are very difficult today.
Oh, I said it's tough trivia.
They're very sort of, inane.
All right, have you ever gone bowling?
Yeah.
Well, this should be easy then. What does it mean for a bowler to score a turkey?
Oh, gee. That one is not in my wheelhouse. A turkey?
Yeah, you just bowled a turkey. What is a turkey?
Is that a gutter ball?
No, 3 strikes in a row.
Oh.
Now, you learned something today.
As a Virginia Tech fighting gobbler, I should know that, I guess. These are ridiculously stupid questions, but anyway.
Which golfer swings left-handed even though he is otherwise right-handed?
That would be Phil Mickelson.
Yeah. One of his warm-up routines is when he gets out of his car, he and his caddy play catch with a baseball, and Phil has a right-handed throw and a left-handed catch.
It's amazing.
But when he first started to play golf, somebody handed him golf clubs, and they were left-handed. So he played with them and learned how to play golf left-handed.
Got it. And he's good at it, apparently.
Yeah.
Seems to be pretty good at it.
Well, he's making a living at it anyway. Yeah. All right. Well, so it goes for this Thursday.
Are we done?
We are done.
I see Alan Mashburn has arrived. He'll be co-hosting the Saturday Taking Aim program at 11 a.m.
All right.
Exclusively here on WEEB.
Well, we look forward to that.
With me.
And for the rest of you, so it goes for this Thursday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow for a TSIF. Thanks, Steve. It's Friday. Until then, be sure to support the advertisers you hear on our station, because they not only make radio free to you, but they also are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County, because when you give them first crack at your spending dollars, your money stays here in our economy instead of at a box store's economy somewhere out in Arkansas or Sri Lanka or in Indonesia or China. And also, don't forget to call us if you want to find out why talk radio is the most effective form of advertising there is, second to none. All right, that's it for me, the leader man, Nick and Colt the dog. We'll see you at the dog park.
Well, bye. Beck, you'd better be laughing.
So, what have we learned? Heck, I don't know. But this is one crazy show. Bye now.
Cut! That's it. Go home, everybody. None of this ever happened. Well, y'all come back now, you hear?
I think we're through here.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, man. That's pretty much all I got, man. Okay, class dismissed. Rock on!
Well, let me tell you something. Everything comes to an end.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. It's been a deadly attack outside a synagogue in the UK. The assault comes on Yom Kippur. It left 2 people dead, 3 critical. The BBC's Anna Jameson says a vehicle and a knife were used as weapons in the attack in Manchester.
Greater Manchester Police received a call from the member of the public to say that he'd witnessed the car being driven towards members of the public, and now there have been reports that a security guard had been attacked with a knife. 7 minutes later, Greater Manchester Police say that shots were fired by the force. One man believed to be the offender has been shot. Now, paramedics are at the scene. 4 members of the public are believed to have been injured.
Police say they shot and killed the suspect. Posting on X, British Prime Minister Starmer writes, the fact that this has taken place on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, makes it all the more horrific. He's ordering a stepped-up police presence at synagogues across the UK. National Park visitors feeling the pinch on this day 2 of the government shutdown.
At the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, tourists were turned away at the entrance on Wednesday. Jim Feather, who lives in Pennsylvania, says it's frustrating.
Their job is to pass a budget, and if they're not doing their job, what are they doing down there?
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office has estimated that some 750,000 federal workers could be furloughed.
Correspondent Donna Warder. 2 Delta regional jets bumped each other on the tarmac at New York's LaGuardia Airport last night, and a flight attendant was injured. The wing of an aircraft getting ready to take off for Roanoke, Virginia, hit the fuselage of an aircraft arriving from Charlotte, North Carolina. Watching Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures down 33 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
NCN News, I'm Mike Riley. 2 people are dead after a targeted attack on a synagogue in Greater Manchester, England. CBS News correspondent Ramy Encicioso.
This started with an emergency call to police about that car ramming by a member of the public. This was just after 9:30 a.m. local time. That then escalated into reports of a stabbing attack.
The government shutdown has potential economic impacts for North Carolina if it continues long-term. Economics professor for East Carolina University, Dr. Philip Rothman, tells WCTI there are many programs that could be affected by a government shutdown.
I believe that a whole bunch of social welfare type spending will still go through. But for employees, the federal government, a large chunk of them will be formally furloughed, won't receive pay now.
It's been nearly 20 years since the last execution in North Carolina, but Brunswick County District Attorney John David says pursuing the death penalty is on the table after Saturday's mass shooting in Southport. David said at a news conference,
My office
does seek it in appropriate cases.
Nearly 100 people on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship fell ill from the norovirus, a very contagious stomach infection. CBS's Christian Benvenite.
There is no antiviral treatment for norovirus, so it's just about treating the symptoms, making sure that you stay hydrated. Now, this is the 19th outbreak of a gastrointestinal illness on a cruise ship so far this year. That's already outpacing all of last year.
The North Carolina State Fair is almost here, and that means lots of fun, entertainment, rides, animals, and a variety of food options. Kent Yelverton is the fair manager.
Our visitors really enjoy trying these new foods. They enjoy the creativity of the vendors. It is a big part of our fair, and it's a fun part of our fair.
You're listening to NCN News.
For North Carolina high school seniors, the countdown to college is on. And at CFNC, we've got all the resources and information needed to get you on campus next year. Take College Application Week, for example. Did you know you can apply for free at many North Carolina colleges from October 20th through October 26th? Sure can. Don't miss the opportunity to save some money applying to college. And for more help, visit cfnc.org/C2C.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
Seven Lakes Contracting and Asphalt Services is proud to announce they are now a certified sport coating installer. If your tennis or pickleball court has cracks, fading lines, or slippery surfaces and has seen better days, let them refinish it with a new durable playing surface that will weather the test of time. With over 30 years of experience, call Seven Lakes Contracting and Asphalt Services for a free estimate at 910-673-1318. That's 910-673-1318.
Good Thursday morning. We start your day with mostly clear skies and temperatures in the low to mid 50s. By this afternoon, highs will reach the low to mid 70s. We'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies with highs reaching the low to mid 70s. Some places with increased cloud cover could see slightly cooler conditions. Overnight tonight, mostly clear with temperatures at around 50 by Friday morning. Then highs Friday will reach the mid 70s. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies once again. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
This hour of the Chris Plant Show is sponsored by Seven Lakes Contracting and Asphalt Services. Call 910-673-1318 for your free estimate.
There is some silver lining to the shutdown. According to their official website, during the shutdown, our friends at the FCC will cease their response to consumer complaint and inquiry phone lines, which I'm not a lawyer, but I think means we can now say whatever we want on TV, right?
It reminds me of Munich in 1933. You've seen the film footage there at the big stadium in Munich. The Democrats, that was, of course, Jimmy Kimmel. Does he still have that TV show? Pretending still that it was the FCC that shut him down and not just ABC Disney. Live the lie, live the lie. LTL, the Democrat Party's, well, one of their slogans. They have several slogans. Let's dance. Well, guten Morgen and happy Thursday to you. It's a wonderful world, but there are a lot of weasels, people that don't tell the truth. We call them Democrats. You can spell it any way you'd like. Demic rats, demon rats, they have a lot of alternate spellings. They're all transgender. Did you know that? Now it's official. Every Democrat is transgender. I'm suggesting to the White House that they ban the Second Amendment for registered Democrats. Proven to be much too dangerous. Way, way too dangerous. But we have Hanoi Jane in the news, too. Did you see this? Hanoi Jane has made a comeback, and she, what is she? Is she really Nancy Pelosi? Is that what's going on here? Maybe the person that we think is Nancy Pelosi is really Jane Fonda. Could be Hanoi Jane Fonda, been the case for a long time. What an actress. Boy, she's amazing. She should get at least an Emmy for that. But we've got Hanoi Jane. She is back in the news. She's out there. She's on the television or wherever they go. Podcasts, things like that. And Newsmax.com has the story. White House hits back at Jane Fonda's free speech reboot. She's got a free speech since we opened with Jimmy Kimmel there. Hanoi Jane says, and as I like to say, they have no sense of irony. And I say that because they clearly have no sense of irony. So much of what they do is ironic, and they're unaware of it, entirely unaware of the irony that they spread, oblivious to the whole thing. Hanoi Jane, though, a traitor to her country, a disgrace to her father, says the U.S. government is once again engaged in a coordinated campaign to silence critics in the government, the media, the judiciary, academia, and the entertainment industry. Once again, she said, that's what she said, because, Twitter and Facebook banned President Trump, and of course, the Obama administration used the IRS against Tea Party groups and patriot groups, and they used the Department of Justice and the FBI against Naval Academy grads and Trump staffers all around. They abused the FISA courts to spy on my colleague at Newsmax, for example, James Rosen, and they spied on the New York Times, and they spied on the Associated Press. The communist-run CIA, when penitentiary faced John Brennan was chief of the CIA, thanks to Barack Obama, who was mentored by a communist as a teenager named Frank Marshall Davis. Then he made a Communist Party voter, John Penitentiary faced Brennan, the CIA director. Then the communist voting CIA director abused the CIA to corrupt a presidential election. And remember that, the Felonious 51 signing a document saying that all the reporting at the New York Post, which was all 100% true, about Hunter Biden's laptop had all the earmarks of Russian disinformation. That was a big lie, though. And so she says the U.S. government is once again engaged in a coordinated campaign, which is completely delusional, but they love being victims. They stay home at night. They lay flat on their face on the floor, and they victimize themselves. Have you seen? Some of them posted on the internet. It's you shouldn't watch it. I wouldn't recommend watching it. But there it is. Newsmax had the story and has the story, and Hanoi Jane. Hanoi Jane is all about that. And the White House hits back at Hanoi Jane Fonda's free speech reboot. They love to. There is no status more exalted than that of victim in the left-wing world, in the Democrat Party world. The White House is dismissing Hanoi Jane Fonda's revival of the McCarthy-era Hollywood group on the free speech. They pretend that they're pro-free speech, but the Democrat Party fascists, like Adolf Hitler's Socialist Workers' Party, they trample free speech at every turn. And academia, this all started long ago in academia. Remember when we were doing stories about it here years and years ago, when on college campuses they set up little square pens about 10 feet by 10 feet, and they declared it to be with police ribbon and in metal stands, and they stanchions perhaps, and they said this is a free speech zone. They had a free speech zone on college campuses. And I remember at the time saying, jawohl, meine Schatzi, ja, Deutschland, Deutschland. But they had no idea what I was talking about because they don't know what the word history means either. They sometimes use the words, but they very often don't know what they mean. So just amazing stuff. And the White House said that Hanoi Jane is free to share whatever bad opinions she wants. That's just great. Isn't that wonderful? The Hill reported on Wednesday, in addition to Newsmax, Hanoi Jane, who's 87 years old and still alive because of our terrible, awful, sexist, racist healthcare system that the Democrats just fixed under Obama. Remember that? That was about 20 minutes ago, historically speaking. Hanoi Jane, 87, announced she was relaunching the Committee for the First Amendment, originally founded in 1947 by her father, Henry Fonda, who was not a communist, and other entertainers. the entertainers. They formed a thing called the Committee for the First Amendment. Of course, there were a lot of communists in Hollywood at the time, and there were communists in the State Department too. See Senator Joe McCarthy, and they've been attacking this and claiming for all these years that it was never true, but it's been proven to be true again and again and again. But the Committee for the First Amendment, really, honestly, President Trump has been paid off again and again and again by these Democrat Party groups because of them denying his free speech and deplatforming him and all of that crazy stuff. But you got to Hanoi Jane, whatever she says is wrong because she's not very bright. She's not bright at all. She's just rich because she played that Clute, a prostitute, right? I was a prostitute. I'm looking at Jeff Wolf, who's my movie expert of the day. Michael Piercy is operating from home today because of the patriarchy. He can do that because of all the miracles that the patriarchy has created, and we get to enjoy the fruits of the labors of the patriarchy. But maybe Hanoi Jane should look at the fact that YouTube just agreed to pay President Trump $24.5 million because they suspended a sentence, and they had no legitimate reason to do that except left-wing political radicals who are, put a gun to the baby's head every day and pull the hammer back, and the rest. Facebook then agreed earlier, actually, not then, but before YouTube, agreed to pay Trump $25 million for suspending him for political reasons. The Twitter people, before it was owned by Elon Musk, who had to come here from South Africa to show the Democrats what it means to be an American, because the Democrats forgot long ago, because, they're just power-greedy, corrupt Soros people, and they're all transgender. Twitter agreed to pay President Trump $10 million for suspending him. ABC News, fake news with that guy, George Snuffleupagus, who was just a Clinton administration official, and then, bam, overnight, he's a world-famous network news anchorman for $25 million. Isn't that amazing? A year. That's not like over the 5 years or anything. That's a year. Because the Democrat Party pays for propaganda, and boy, they pay a lot better than the radio people do, I'll tell you that much. ABC News agreed to pay Trump $15 million to settle a defamation suit when Snuffleupagus said that he had been convicted of rape. I think that was it. And that wasn't true, but it doesn't matter because the Democrat Party, how the Democrat Party is just amazing. 60 Minutes agreed to pay Trump $16 million for the corrupt editing of their Kamala Harris interview that was designed to make him look bad and make Kamala Harris look good because, hey, maybe we should have this Committee on Free Speech. Gestapo uniforms have little riding crops, and the men dress like ladies, and they whip each other and things like that because it's a Democrat Party. And they have a fishbowl. If you go into a Democrat's house and they're having people over for dinner, they got a fishbowl by the front door. That means they're all swapping wives and husbands. I don't know why they don't call it husband swapping, isn't it? Doesn't it turn out to be the same thing? Kind of sexist, don't you think? So we've got that. But Hanoi Jane, she's back in the fold because she's a Democrat, and the Democrats never go away. Isn't that amazing? Also, I got a fun meme. Actually, my best girl sent me this fun meme, and it is Tim Herlocker. Tim Herlocker posted it on the Twitter, on the X, and it's the headline is "Participation Trophies Really Did Ruin Society," and they've got a fun photograph of two photographs really. One is of Dwight David Eisenhower, who became the president of the United States after he liberated Europe from the Socialist Workers' Party of Adolf Hitler in World War II. And there's General Eisenhower, and he has ribbons. He's wearing in his uniform. He's got his uniform on, and he has 5 ribbons on his chest, 5 ribbons. He liberated Europe. And then next to him, they got General Thoroughly Modern Milley, who was chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff during Joe Biden's run, and he wanted to have a cross-dressing dance troupe instead of U.S. military. And he wanted to have them putting on shows, turn, kick, turn, because he wanted to put on a show, and he wanted the whole military to be transgender. But here's Dwight Eisenhower with 5 ribbons on his jacket, on his uniform. And here's Thoroughly Modern Milley, who never left the United States as far as we know. And he's got his combat infantryman badge. Then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think, rows of ribbons. And it looks like he conquered the universe compared to Eisenhower. But what did he do? Then he's got all these medallions below on his Joint Chiefs of Staff pins and his Ranger and his Airborne and his Halo jumping. And he's got all these, and he's just covered with decorations. And here's Eisenhower, who actually did something rather huge and historic. You know, he's Julius Caesar compared to Thoroughly Modern Millie. And it's true, it became the culture of the participation trophy because the thing. And I actually went and found another picture of Eisenhower where he just has 3 ribbons, and he's a 5-star general, and he's got 3 ribbons on his uniform. And here's Thoroughly Modern Millie with like 44 of them because he once flew over Iraq and stopped to get gas or something like that. Isn't that amazing? Womp, womp, womp. The Democrats did that because they take everything and they ruin it. That's what they do. I am telling you. Yes, sir. Yep. And, it's like Senator John Kennedy said. I played the audio for you yesterday. A couple of days ago, Senator John Kennedy, who's usually very funny and pretty much always right, he said, everything happens for a reason, but sometimes the reason is you're stupid and you made a bad decision. And I'd say, it goes back to the old axiom that life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid. And I think we should raise Democrat children on that. That's wonderful stuff. So we've got that going. Yes, we do. Professor Alan Dershowitz, law professor emeritus at the Harvard University, which used to be a real humdinger of a school, didn't it? It was a humdinger of a school. But he said he's had it with the Democrat Party because they're insane. And he's even okay with them all being cross-dressers. Oh, speaking of Harvard University, and we got the government shut down. I know we've got government shut down, and we got a lot of real serious stuff going on here. But the Washington Post, they're concerned the Democrats have walked into a disaster and walked into Trump's trap. It's a trap set by Trump, and they're too stupid to know that. But we've got Harvard University story, because they have hired a culturally insensitive, cross-dressing, transgender stripper freakazoid to teach, to be a professor at the Harvard University. And where do you hear about this? Are you familiar with the, well, I want to share it with you, but I've got to get the whole thing in front because they're completely crazy, And at Harvard University, they got a new professor. It's Trenny, looks like a street hooker down on 7th Street in Washington, D.C., down by Samuel Gompers Park. Cross-dressing, tranny, street hooker / Harvard professor, because that's what the Democrats do. Also got Hilaria Baldwin. Remember her? Her name is Hilarious, and she's kind of in the news. I'll explain that. Yeah, but what do you hear about this Harvard drag queen? I think this is very insensitive. There is a city in Pakistan called Lahore. It's called Lahore in Pakistan. I think it's in the Punjab. And this Harvard hire is very, very culturally insensitive. I'll explain that coming up. We're at 888-630-9625.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit BigLoot.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for truth. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. For offer details, go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on all major cable systems. They're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones, and they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Newsmax sponsored this message.
WEEB, we've got you by the ears.
In the market for new furniture? Shop Lavish Furniture for top brands at the best prices around. Ashley, Craftmaster, Hooker, Bassett, Liberty, and Flex Steel. Find exactly the fabric and style you're looking for in our designer collections. Our furniture is solid wood and American made. Financing and same-day delivery are available. We will meet or beat any price. Lavish Furniture, 1650 US 1 South in Southern Pines, or visit lavishfurnitureus.com.
Speed Queen washers and dryers are the #1 rated laundry pair in America and are designed to last. Hi, this is Katherine Phelps, owner of Appliances and More, where creating relationships is our business. We now carry a full assortment of Speed Queen washers and dryers, all coming with 3, 5, and 7-year parts and labor warranties, in stock and ready for pickup or local delivery. Shop your locally veteran-owned Appliances and More at the Town & Country Shopping Center, Aberdeen.
This is Amy from Main Street Glass, your choice for custom residential and commercial glass installations. We specialize in creating stunning glass solutions tailored to your unique wants and needs, whether it's sleek glass partitions for your office, a custom frameless shower enclosure for your home, or a custom mirror. We can do it all. Elevate your space with Main Street Glass. To schedule your free estimate, call 910-639-6336 or visit us at 195 Pinehurst Avenue next to Comfort Made Blinds in Southern Pines.
Hi, I'm Ashley Lambert, Funeral Director at Pines Funerals, Kennedy, Fry Prickett, and Powell Funeral Homes. We encourage families to have a plan in place. We know the hardest part is starting the conversation. Please know we are here to help by providing gentle guidance and walk with you through every step of the process. Leave no questions unanswered. Start the conversation today at pinesfunerals.com. That's pinesfunerals.com. Serving you because we care.
WEEB, we've got you by the ears.
Okay. Now, I said I wanted to share the Harvard University story with you. Not what it used to be. I'm not sure it ever was what it used to be, but maybe it was. Harvard hires drag queen named Lahore Vagistan. Lahore Vagistan and Harvard hired this man who pretends now there is a city in Pakistan that is called Lahore. It's Lahore, Lahore in Pakistan. I believe it's in the Punjab, and that's a province. Harvard hires drag queen, first of all, start with that, named, quote, Lahore, second word, Vagistan, as visiting professor. The Harvard University in Boston, Massachusetts, Cambridge, Mass., hired a drag performer as the new professor who is expected to teach class on the TV show RuPaul's Drag Race. So if you worked your whole life to save up enough money and work hard and get the tutors to get your kid into Harvard, and your kid gets to Harvard, gets to major in RuPaul's Drag Race, the TV show, can take the class from a drag queen who goes by Lahore Vagistan, because that's the professor at Harvard University. Ought to be on 60 Minutes and The View, and probably will be. So they teach the class on the TV show RuPaul's Drag Race. RuPaul is actually kind of a funny cross-dressing drag queen from many years ago, still around, intelligent, always made fun of the whole thing, made a living off of it. But never mind that. RuPaul's Drag Race is the class. The spring semester, the Ivy League school announced that they've hired this person. Here's a picture of the person. Couldn't look more ridiculous if you saw this person out on a street corner in Washington, D.C., and you might, then you probably would steer clear, and it would be good for your health if you did. The institution, Harvard, welcomed Kareem, listen now, Kubchandani, in a July message to the college community, and revealed that the visiting professor from Tufts University, stole him away from another university, will teach in the Studies of Gender and Sexuality program, thanks to the Harvard Gender and Sexuality Caucus. Sure. Kubchandani is better known by his stage name, Lahore Vagistan, a persona that the academic has made an integral part of their pedagogy. This is the Democrat Party.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
WEEB. We've got you by the ears.
Welcome a new season bursting with abundant color by saying hello to your knowledgeable friends at Olmsted Village Hardware. They'll introduce you to a selection of fall fertilizer products that will nurture your lawn and vegetation and keep your grounds thriving as temperatures moderate. Longing for a landscaping upgrade? Ask our experts to show you a variety of mulch and pine bark nuggets. Cooler weather means it's a great time for outdoor chefs. Our True Value store on Central Park Avenue, just off Highway 211 and next door to Lowe's Foods, features a Grill Master showroom where you can choose from traditional, flat top, and electric grills. As favorite recipes sizzle, get cozy by treating the family to a new fire pit. Gather round in polywood chairs that you'll find next door at Olmsted Patio. Furnishings by Home Decor Poly are available in 30 custom colors and come with 20-year warranties. Olmsted Village Hardware, open 7 days a week, plus shop online for bargains on tools, paint, and household products.
This is Patrick McBrayer at the Insurance Center in Southern Pines. With so many changes to Medicare this year, along with carriers pulling out of the market, there has never been a more important time to have a local, trusted agent to help guide you through your options. We have a team of agents ready, some who used to work for First Medicare Direct, to help you guide you through your annual enrollment. Call us today to schedule your appointment at 910-692-9251 or visit us online at sandhills-ins.com.
Summer's over and your pool is about to look like a pumpkin spice swamp. Don't panic. Call the pros at Southern Tropics Pools and Spas. We make closing your pool easy, fast, and worry-free. Plus, we install safety covers to keep everything nice and protected. Thinking about that dream in-ground pool? Book your spot now. Spaces for 2026 are going faster than cannonballs off the diving board. Visit Southern Tropics Pools and Spas at 150 East Connecticut Avenue in Southern Pines or call 910-692-5200.
With over 20 years of experience, visit Hardy's Equipment and see the new and improved LS Tractor MT2 and MT2E available now. These improved versions of everyone's favorite 32 plus horsepower tractor with an increased lift capacity of 2,000 plus pounds now has more standard features and more operator comfort like added air conditioning and a redesigned roof configuration, providing additional headspace for increased visibility. With an LS Tractor, now you can do more for less with legendary LS Tractor reliability. So mow it, grade it, till it or move it, join the LS Tractor family and do more today. See the complete line of LS Tractors assembled right here in North Carolina at Hardy's Equipment, 4809 Bass Carthage Road, or call 910-245-1644. That's 910-245-1644. Fall is in the air, and at Greenhaven Plant Farm, that means color, comfort, and pumpkins galore. For over 40 years, we've been the Sandhills' go-to for autumn's best plants. Right now, our thousands of mums are bursting with bold oranges, golden burgundies, our cheerful pansies are ready to brighten cool mornings, and our plump pumpkins are porch perfect, waiting for you. Come see us Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5 at 255 Greenhaven Lane off Highway 22 in Carthage. Greenhaven Plant Farm, your fall-colored destination.
If you're in the market for a new car, there are a lot of reasons to make the short drive to Cooper Ford in Carthage, but it really comes down to just two: exceptional customer service and the lowest prices guaranteed. Cooper Ford is proud to be the only locally owned Ford dealership in Moore County, and they're also proud to announce that once again, they've won the coveted Ford President's Award for an unprecedented 5th year in a row. Online at cooperford.net, the locally owned, award-winning Cooper Ford in Carthage, always working hard to be your hometown dealer.
More Buildings and Carports has 40-foot RV covers starting at just $3,700 plus tax installed. Need a different size? Let More Buildings and Carports build your custom RV cover today. Call 910-684-7200.
If there was a better way to handle your finances, when would you want to know? Tune in to White Horse Financial Solutions, Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 1 p.m. here on WEEB.
Good Thursday morning. We start your day with mostly clear skies and temperatures in the low to mid 50s. By this afternoon, highs will reach the low to mid 70s. We'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies with highs reaching the low to mid 70s. Some places with increased cloud cover could see slightly cooler conditions. Overnight tonight, mostly clear with temperatures at around 50 by Friday morning. Then highs Friday will reach the mid 70s. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies once again. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB. We've got you by the ears.
Why do you think they call it higher education? They've all got bongs under their desks. They get super stoned. Then they say, hey, got this cross-dressing freak show. He's a man of color who pretends to be a woman of color. And he calls himself Lahore, Vagistan, an obvious play on the city of Lahore in Pakistan. And I've got to say, I think this is very culturally insensitive. And Harvard should be called out maybe by ISIS about this. Maybe ISIS would want to take issue with this. Maybe the government of Pakistan would want to take issue with this. But this is the highest of higher learning in the United States of America. It's where they all go, you know, them, those people. And it's not a serious institution. It should be mocked and ridiculed. And if you employ a Harvard grad, that Harvard grad should probably be let go today. Just fire that Harvard grad. We should make that a day. We have National Pizza Pie Day and Ice Cream Day. We should have Fire a Harvard Grad Day. One day a year. What day should that be? There's got to be a date that would be appropriate to have Fire a Harvard Grad Day. But let's go to the telephones. We have Jeff Wolf here in the slot position today because Michael Piercy is working, but he's working from home. He has fun to do with his son today, his son Max. But Jeff is here in the studio. So, Jeff, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Seabass, calling from Front Royal, Virginia. Seabass, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
What do you say, Chris? How's your day today?
Oh, it couldn't be better. You know, life in America, the living is easy. Doesn't get better. I didn't go to Harvard, so I'm okay.
I called you a couple months ago about my daughter going to VCU for that same stupid degree that you're talking about, the gender and whatever studies there.
Yeah, gender studies. I remember. Well, how could I forget Seabass calling in? Of course I remember you calling in.
I said she couldn't find a job after applying everywhere. Anyway, talked to her a couple days ago. She works at the Commissioner of the Revenue in Richmond now.
at the Office of the Commissioner of Revenue in Richmond. So she got a government job with a gender studies degree from Virginia Commonwealth University.
I don't know if that's what got her there, but, you know, she says it pays the bills. I said, well, maybe you could skim some revenue off the top to pay your overpriced college loans.
Student loans, got to pay the student loans. So you probably shouldn't recommend that she skim, though, because then, you know, they'll end the FBI will raid your home in a pre-dawn raid with battering rams and shoot your dog, and they'll have a CNN crew across the street because that's how that works. And then she'll be fine. She'll be promoted. They'll make her the commissioner of revenue in Virginia. Hey, you know, look, Seabass, that's why we have government. We have government so that people can get government jobs. What kind of people get government jobs? Well, people with degrees in gender studies, you know, that get, and her job has nothing to do with gender studies, right? But, hey, look, I've got to say this, Seabass. She gave you the right answer. It pays the bills. And that's good, and that's fun. And maybe she'll learn a lot, if not in college, than in her first job out of college.
Yeah, on a second note, the Free Palestine freaks are out my way now. There's graffiti underneath a 66 overpass. And then the Charlie Kirk Memorial in Culpeper got defaced and spray painted over. Nick Freitas put that out on Facebook this morning. So they're moving out west.
Which Charlie Kirk Memorial in which town?
In Culpeper.
In Culpeper. I got to tell you, the Democrat Party is a vile gang of rabble, aren't they? They should wear armbands and brown uniforms. They already goose-step all over the place. They're goose-stepping outside of Chicago, attacking the ICE facility. They're goose-stepping in Portland, Oregon. They've got mobs out on the street attacking federal officers and federal this and federal that. Police made, it's just, you know, they're making arrests every day in all these locations because the Democrat Party has done this to our country, Seabass. There's no doubt about it. So they're vandalizing in Culpeper, of all places, which is America. And I hope that they find the people and give them the electric chair. I think, do they still have the electric chair in Virginia? I'd like to think they do. And you know, grab these people a bit of nightstick and then maybe leg shackles and preferably the electric chair. Because, you know, then you get to call it Old Sparky and people get to tell stories about watching the executions while they spark up and all that stuff. It's kind of fun. But attacking the Charlie Kirk Memorial and vandalizing it in Culpeper, Virginia. And you got your Free Palestine graffiti on I-66 and the overpasses on Interstate 66 because the left is just rabble and they're filth, and they love death more than we love life. They love murder. They love hostage-taking like Hamas and the so-called Palestinians and all of that stuff. And you know, and they take gender studies when they're in college. So what more can we say about the Democrat Party, Seabass?
They need to study their genders because obviously they're confused about all 58 of them.
They definitely are. You know, I wonder what they do if they stand naked in front of a mirror. Are they just confused and befuddled? They don't know what to make of all this? I think that's probably the case. But Seabass, you also wanted to talk about Harvard University because they've got a new professor. They've got a new professor teaching gender studies there. And I know that your daughter has a gender studies degree. But they have a new professor at the Harvard University who goes insultingly. It's insulting to the people of Pakistan and certainly to the people of the Punjab because there is a city in the Punjab in Pakistan called Lahore, but it's not spelled like La Prostitute. You know, it's Lahore, and it's in Pakistan. It's the biggest city in the Punjab. And this woman, who's a man and not a woman at all, has a beard and dresses up like a woman and wears a bright orange wig and has bright green, giant oversized lipstick and green eyebrow stuff, eye shade stuff, and dresses in rainbow dresses that are too tight for his big fat belly, and embarrassing. And look, if this guy wants to dress up and call himself Lahore, Vagistan, and be a whatever, that's fine. But now we live in a culture, Seabass, where the Harvard University, which used to have some respect, I remember when they did have respect, They hired this guy and said that he's going to call himself Lahore Vagistan and teach a course at Harvard University. And Harvard thinks that is great in their gender and sexuality studies program. And they have a Harvard Gender and Sexuality Caucus. And it was the Gender and Sexuality Caucus that angled to bring this person in from another university that ought to be embarrassed, ought to be banished. And I got to tell you, none of these universities should get any government money at all. In an interview, the New York Post writing the story, in an interview with his own drag persona, Vagistan, published by Johns Hopkins University Press in 2015, this dude, whose real name is Kubichan Indani, spilled the tea on the origins of his off-putting stage name, said, "My name is Lahore, Lawhore, and it's big L, little a, big W, Hre, little ones. Vagistan is that my preferred pronouns are she or auntie, and I chose Lahore because my family traces its origins to Pakistan. Lahore is an important city in Pakistan, and well, I'm a bit of a whore," he says, the drag queen said. And that was, honestly, this is what academia has become in the United States of America. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's 476 AD in Rome, and the empire is collapsing. And the Johns Hopkins University, formerly a respected institution as well, like the Harvard University, but Johns Hopkins University interviewed this person with a straight face and said, "Oh, this is perfectly good." So says Lahore because family goes back to Lahore, Pakistan, and Vagistan because I see the subcontinent as one big, beautiful Vagistan. This is what he said in the interview. And this is Harvard University today. It's Johns Hopkins University. And who else was in here? Tufts University. It should be Tux University, because you got to tuck it away or something like that. But this is academia in the United States of America in 2025. And once again, it's all entirely on the Democrat Party. And I've got to say, I'm going to alert the Pakistani intelligence community. The ISI, I think, needs to find out what's going on at Harvard, because they might not be amused by it. We're going to have to let ISIS know what Harvard is doing. Isn't that amazing? Khub Chandani will teach just 2 classes over the course of 2 semesters. Queer ethnography, and Rue politics. And then they have colon, and they definitely love their colons here. One of the classes is Rue Politics, Drag, Race, and Desire. That's the spring semester course. And there are people that worked real hard their whole lives to get their kids into Harvard. And when their kids get to Harvard, they say, "I think I'm going to take Rue Politics," because that's from the drag queen freakazoid with the everything mentally ill, because that's the Democrat Party, and that's where we are today. So what do you think about Harvard? Because, maybe your daughter's going to want to get a master's degree at Harvard in gender studies as well. What do you think, Seabass?
It's all a cover-up for turning people into little Marxists. That's all it is. And that freak show you're talking about makes Krusty the Clown look normal.
Well, Krusty, I think, was pretty normal, I got to say.
Yeah. I recommend people go look at this character you're talking about, Vagistan or whatever you're talking about.
You looked him up, huh? Yeah.
Of course, I had to. Bright orange, very fall-like colors.
That's true. Fall is here, and it is the fall semester at the Harvard University. Yeah, great stuff. That's who they are, Seabass. Hey, listen, I hope that your daughter keeps her job and keeps making enough money to pay the bills. That'd be real good. And who knows, in government, she's obviously a Democrat. She's got a degree in gender studies, so she might end up governor of Virginia one of these days.
That's a scary thought, but I'm going to go back to working on cars so I can pay the bills.
Pay the bills. All right, buddy. Seabass, that's Seabass. Thanks, buddy. That's calling in from Front Royal, Virginia. And I wasn't aware of the Democrats vandalizing the Charlie Kirk Memorial in Culpeper, Virginia, but I'm unsurprised. there's a larger-than-life memorial to Vladimir Lenin, the Soviet communist revolutionary, in downtown Seattle, a giant oversized bronze statue of Lenin. It's never been vandalized. It's never been vandalized because conservatives don't vandalize things like that, and the left would never vandalize the founder of the Bolshevik Revolution, who really got the murder going in the 20th century. And boy, they got a lot done before the century was out, and now they're here because that's your Democrat Party. You know what this does remind me of a little bit is there's another story out there that I didn't get to the other day, but it's kind of a fun story. Emmanuel Macron is the president of France, and it's France, so they've got a lot of issues there already, right? Now, but President Emmanuel Macron, he's got a wife named Brigitte. Brigitte, that's French for Bridget. And Brigitte was his teacher when he was young, and now they're married. And that's fine because it's France, right? But here's the thing. A lot of people have suggested that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, the wife of the President of France, is actually a man, actually a dude. That's the story that's out there. I don't actually believe it to be true, but a lot of people have suggested that Brigitte Macron is actually a man and not a lady at all. And that's fine with the French guy because France, right? But here's the headline from Yahoo News. Why does Brigitte Macron need to prove in court that she's a woman? What? Why does she have to prove in court that she's a woman? Headline actually says, why does Brigitte Macron need to prove, in quotation marks, she's a woman in a U.S. court? Emmanuel Macron's wife, who is in a legal dispute with right-wing influencer Candace Owens, will present scientific evidence to prove she's a woman. She's a woman. Candace Owens has started doing some pretty wacky things. I got to say, liked her some time ago. She's gotten a little wacky. French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte will present scientific and photographic evidence, look out for that, to a U.S. court to prove the latter was born a woman, it has been reported. A lawyer acting for the couple, on behalf of the couple, said they will present evidence in the defamation case that they have launched against right-wing influencer Candace Owens. Notice they never call left-wing lunatics left-wing lunatics. Why don't they do that? Who has reportedly alleged that Brigitte Macron was born male. The pair's lawyer, Tom Clare, is Clare a woman or a man? Told the BBC's Fame Under Fire podcast that the couple would prove, generally and specifically, that Owens' allegations that Mrs. Macron was born male were false. How can that be? It's a funny world out there. But they're going to bring in photographic evidence. Hey, that's evidence in court. That should be made public, shouldn't it? Isn't that government property? I think it is. I'm telling you. Yes, sir. I've got an update also on a ruling at a rule with the post office that it's illegal. The post office banned guns in post offices because they don't want them in there. There has been a ruling in court as to that U.S. Postal Service rule. I've got that story for you coming up. And we've got, of course, the government shutdown, which I think is great. It was much easier getting into work today, wasn't it? Everybody's nodding. Yeah, it was much easier getting into work today because the government was closed. Maybe all the trannies stayed home. 95% Democrat city, after all.
To do the binds.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for truth. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. For offer details, go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on all major cable systems. They're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones, and they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Newsmax sponsored this message.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit bigloot.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-1509. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-1509 or biglou.com.
WEEB. We've got you by the ears.
It's Karastan month at JB Short Carpet One. For a limited time, elevate your home with the timeless luxury of Karastan carpet and plank flooring, known for its beauty, durability, and style that lasts. Whether you're refreshing one room or redesigning your entire home, now's the perfect time to save big on Karastan flooring. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Karastan month, now at JB Short Carpet One. JB Short Carpet One, Highway 1 North between Southern Pines and Vass, or on the web at shortcarpet1.com.
Thinking about updating your kitchen? Now is a great time to do just that with KitchenAid appliances from Keys Appliance Center. Now through December 31st, customize your collection of KitchenAid major appliances and receive up to $3,000 in rebates via prepaid MasterCard. So head on over to the appliance experts at Keys Appliance Center and visit with any sales associate for complete rebate details and list of eligible KitchenAid models. Keys Appliance Center, located in downtown Aberdeen.
Building or purchasing your dream home, adding a new fence, or maybe you're purchasing or dividing land. If so, precision matters. Before you break ground on that next project, contact DZT Land Surveying first. Whether it's residential or commercial, our fully licensed expert team provides accurate, reliable surveys to ensure your land is marked right the first time. We handle everything from property boundaries, construction layouts, to infrastructure projects. So schedule your quote by calling 910-420-1325 and avoid future issues. Trust DZT Land Surveying for all your survey needs.
Attention classic car enthusiasts. Is your vintage ride just collecting dust, begging for a second chance? At veteran-owned Innovation Performance Technologies, we bring your dream ride to life. Our award-winning expert team can restore every detail of your cruiser with precision and passion. If you're looking for a complete frame-off restoration, custom upgrades, or paint jobs, we can do those with ease. Turn that unfinished project into a classic beauty. Contact Innovation Performance Technologies at 910-678-4600 or online at innovationperformance.tech.
Welcome a new season bursting with abundant color by saying hello to your knowledgeable friends at Olmsted Village Hardware. They'll introduce you to a selection of fall fertilizer products that will nurture your lawn and vegetation and keep your grounds thriving as temperatures moderate. Longing for a landscaping upgrade? Ask our experts to show you a variety of mulch and pine bark nuggets. Cooler weather means it's a great time for outdoor chefs. Our True Value store on Central Park Avenue, just off Highway 211 and next door to Lowe's Foods, features a Grill Master showroom where you can choose from traditional, flat top, and electric grills. As favorite recipes sizzle, get cozy by treating the family to a new fire pit. Gather round in Pollywood chairs that you'll find next door at Olmsted Patio. Furnishings by Home Decor Poly are available in 30 custom colors and come with 20-year warranties. Olmsted Village Hardware, open 7 days a week, plus shop online for bargains on tools, paint, and household products.
All right, we're back, and a lot to talk about the government. I got a lot of idiot Democrats and some Republicans talking about the government closure. The Schumer shutdown, the Lizard King. But right now, let's go back to the telephones. Jeff, let's go to Kevin calling from Florida, from the Villages. I want to sing the song, Kevin, but I'll contain myself. Kevin, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Chris, man, I love you, man. You are the best. And yeah, I just relocated from Northern Virginia, where I lived all my life, and worked 30 years in federal law enforcement, retired. And down here in the Villages, it is paradise. And down here, it's like there's no violence. There's law and order. Everybody's nice. I don't have to worry about my truck getting vandalized. And one reason I called in today, I've called in before in the past from Virginia, the first time from the Villages.
Excellent.
Your guy, Seabass, Mr. Seabass, that man, that guy's awesome. And what he's saying is exactly what I was experiencing there, especially the past year, and I just got sick of it. And the law and order is just not there. My friends are cops. They lock people up. They get out from, the Fairfax County, prosecutor there. And so, so I've had it. So I got down here and loving life. I'm single, and my 4 boys, like Seabass, luckily they didn't have that option for that, college degree, and that his daughter, I think he was saying, went into. All my boys, graduated in, regular stuff, business and whatever, and they're all good and working, and they're happy for me. So I get down here, Chris, and another reason why I came down is I am taking the call from President Trump, who I love, and our great president, to come back in the service to serve our country with ICE.
So you're joining ICE. 30 years in law enforcement up here. You moved down to Florida, and you're joining up with ICE because you're an American, a proud American, and I bet you have a golf cart, too, but I ran out the clock on you.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. A car and a knife, the weapons used in today's attack outside a synagogue in Manchester, England. The attack on Yom Kippur, Judaism's holiest day, left 2 people dead, 3 in critical condition. Police shot and killed the attacker. Government shutdown, day 2, no end in sight. The shutdown drama doing nothing to burnish the heavily tarnished image of Congress. Pennsylvanian Jim Feather visiting a national park in Maine.
Their job is to pass a budget, and if they're not doing their job, what are they doing down there? If I just decided I didn't want to do my job, I wouldn't have a job anymore.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
Recent AP NORC polling finds that 44% of Americans have hardly any confidence in the way lawmakers on Capitol Hill are handling their jobs. About half of those surveyed had only some confidence, and only 6% said they had a high level of confidence in the people running Congress. And the findings could be worse now, since the poll was taken before the government shutdown.
Israeli Navy soldiers have boarded vessels and detained dozens of activists from a flotilla attempting to break Israel's blockade of Gaza.
A video posted by Israel's foreign ministry shows the most prominent of the flotilla's activists, Greta Thunberg, sitting on a deck surrounded by Israeli soldiers. The global Samud flotilla was made up of more than 40 boats carrying about 500 people, including European parliamentarians, lawyers and activists. Over the past month, its progress across the Mediterranean Sea has been a focus of international attention.
The BBC's Yolande Nell. 2 Delta Airlines regional jets bumped on the taxiway at LaGuardia Airport in New York last night, injuring a flight attendant. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 106 points, the Nasdaq ahead 29. More on these stories at townhall.com.
NCN News, I'm Mike Riley. King Charles III says he is deeply shocked and saddened by an attack on a synagogue that left 2 people dead. Prime Minister Keir Starmer left a summit for European leaders in Copenhagen, Denmark, to return to Britain because of the incident.
The attack in Manchester this morning is absolutely shocking.
and all of our thoughts are with those affected.
It is day 2 of the government shutdown, and there's still no deal. House Speaker Mike Johnson appeared on CBS Mornings, where he addressed the situation.
And all we're asking is that Senate Democrats do what they have always done in the past every single time and allow the additional clock. That's it.
The Congressional Budget Office estimates that roughly 750,000 federal employees could be furloughed each day of a shutdown. UNC Chapel Hill economics professor Gerald Cohen says the pain will be felt in North Carolina, including the Triangle region.
Think about the coffee shops that those people frequent, lunch places, that they frequent when they're going to work or at work, and those are going to be felt.
Catawba College professor Michael Bitzer tells NCN News.
Partisan dynamics are going to kick in. Those Americans who identify as Republicans, they're going to blame Democrats. Those who identify as Democrats, they're going to blame Republicans. Tell me where the independents fall.
Flu season is coming soon, and ECU Health is reminding people to stay up to date with their vaccinations. Although numbers aren't high currently, they're predicting there will be a spike of flu, COVID-19, and RSV over the next few months. Infectious disease physician at ECU, Dr. Robert Gallagher.
Now is the time to kind of act in terms of going ahead and getting prepared, getting your flu shot, getting your COVID shot if you haven't already.
Furniture business owners say they're optimistic that new tariffs on foreign furniture could spark a renaissance of North Carolina's furniture industry. President Trump announced on Monday that 30% tariffs on foreign trade upholstered furniture would go into effect October 1st. You're listening to NCN News.
Are you taking care of someone on Medicare? Navigating Medicare can be overwhelming. You're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help you figure out what steps to take and when. SHIP counselors can answer your questions. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
When people put their feet under a table, it means more than just consuming food. Getting the restaurant back open, that meant to the community a lot of normalcy. The public health department checked the wells so that we knew where we could get water that was able to be used.
And it was neighbor helping neighbor, and I'm so proud to work in this little small county.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
In the market for new furniture? Shop Lavish Furniture for top brands at the best prices around. Ashley, Craftmaster, Hooker, Bassett, Liberty, and Flex Steel. Find exactly the fabric and style you're looking for in our designer collections. Our furniture is solid wood and American made. Financing and same-day delivery are available. We will meet or beat any price. Lavish Furniture, 1650 US 1 South in Southern Pines, or visit lavishfurnitureus.com.
Good Thursday morning. We start your day with mostly clear skies and temperatures in the low to mid 50s. By this afternoon, highs will reach the low to mid 70s. We'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies with highs reaching the low to mid 70s. Some places with increased cloud cover could see slightly cooler conditions. Overnight tonight, mostly clear with temperatures at around 50 by Friday morning. Then highs Friday will reach the mid 70s. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies once again. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
The Chris Plant Show is sponsored by Sandy Ridge Memory Care and Assisted Living in Candor, a place for compassionate care. Call 910-974-4162.
Senator, Republicans say what you're really fighting for is taxpayer dollars for, as they put it, illegal aliens. I know that's not strictly true, but there is a provision.
Excuse me, not strictly true.
It's not true directly, but
out lie. It is a flat out lie.
That was Pocahontas, of course, and it's the old Russian playbook. Always accuse the other guy of lying while you are angrily lying and pounding the table. Because, she's still pretending to be a Cherokee Indian or something like that. She thinks she'll get her a beer because she's such a regular person. Harvard professor, she's a Harvard professor. I wonder if she's the same person that is, Lahore Vagistan, the new professor at Harvard University. I wonder if that's actually Elizabeth Warren. What are the odds? That's complicated. Well, a very happy Thursday to you, and welcome back once again. We continue to be easy to reach, absolutely toll-free for you, our valued customers, our beloved listeners, at 888-630-9625. The Democrats, Chuck Schumer, the Lizard King, the squinting, skinny-lipped Schumer from New York, he shut the government down because he's greedy and he's trying to steal $1.5 trillion. It might only be $1.2 trillion. The 0.2 is $200 billion. And they're demanding this money. Otherwise, the government will remain shut down. And this is weird. Now Schumer is demanding that Fort Sumter be turned over to the Democrat Party. Wow, that's weird. He's flashing back to the beginning of the first American Civil War that the Democrat Party started back then because they wanted to keep their slaves because they're the party of slavery and they love slavery and plantations and the bullwhip and, everything that goes with that because they're the Democrat Party. And today, they want their illegal aliens, which are the 21st century version of slaves, but the Democrats don't have to house them and feed them. They just pay them a pauper's wage and have them maintain their property. And, down at 12 Oaks, they've got them out raking and clipping the grass with pairs of scissors. And I'm telling you, you're a Democrat Party. I got to tell you, I was in, where was I? Bangalore. I was in Bangalore, which is now called Bengaluru, in southern India, in Karnataka, the province of Karnataka. And Bengaluru, I was down there, it was 15 years ago or so. And they had these islands in the middle of the streets that have trees and grass. And they had a bunch of guys out there with scissors and little hand shears, and they were cutting the lawn on the islands there. And that's what the Democrats want. That's what the Democrats envision, kind of a colonial British version of India. But they want it to be in the United States of America. They need really cheap labor because they've stolen a lot of money, and they've got properties, and they need cheap labor, just like they did back in the 1860s. And you may remember the first Republican president actually freed the slaves, and then a Democrat shot him in the head and murdered him. The more things change, as they say, the more they stay the same. Am I right about that? You know that I'm right about that, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yep. You see, the Islamists, an Islamist attacked a synagogue because it's Jewish holiday today. So naturally, there was a lunatic, a bearded, dressed in black man, shaved his head, attacked a synagogue in Manchester. That's in England. It's not London, but it's kind of like London, except it's a different English city with an English name, Manchester. They report there was an explosion at the scene after the bomb squad arrived, and suspect was shot down by police because, it's Manchester. There's a synagogue there, and you can't have Islamists and synagogues in the same place. That wouldn't do it all, would it? No, it wouldn't. No, sir. Because today is Yom Kippur. It's Yom Kippur. And in England, they got a little Islamist attack by this lunatic on a synagogue in Manchester, and he had to be gunned down by the police. Police are looking into whether he's an Islamist or a Democrat. Could be either at this point. Because the Democrats, they can get on airplanes and fly over there in no time at all, and then act like they act here. Because they're always firebombing the Jewish governor's mansion in Pennsylvania, firebombing pro-Israel marchers in Colorado, and terrorizing Jewish students on campuses in New York, and terrorizing patrons in restaurants on sidewalks in Los Angeles, even Beverly Hills. That's right. And now this guy will have to do the autopsy, see whether he's a member of an Islamist group or maybe just a registered Democrat in the United States who went over there. It's hard to say. Difficult to differentiate between the two entities, I've got to say. So we've got that going. Now, let me get to some audio because the government is shut down, and Jasmine is on telephones today. She's in there, and she's keeping busy. We're at 888-630-9625. Jasmine came in, and she comes in. She's got a long drive to get into the radio station. And today, she said, it was like government shutdown, took about half the amount of time to get in to the radio station that it normally takes because of the government shutdown. It's like a weekend. It's like Saturday or Sunday. It was easy peasy for me. I'm sorry, I used easy peasy. It was easy for me coming in, too. All right, let's go to the Lizard King. And that's Chuck Schumer, of course. And I don't know if you saw the video we posted the other day of the Lizard King, his little pointy little tongue slipping in and out like this. Like this, between his skinny city lips and his little Lizard King. And he was peeking around, and one eye goes left when the other guy goes up. And he's like a salamander. That's why he likes gerrymandering, but he's like a lizard, the Lizard King. That's why he's the Lizard King. But Chuck Schumer was out there lying yesterday. They all lie. We opened with Pocahontas, who lied for decades at Harvard University about being Native American, being a member of the Cherokee Nation, the Cherokee tribe. But she lied about that. And then they did what's that, 23andMe, that genetic test, did one of those things, found that she had 0 Native American blood in her. But Marco Rubio took a test at the same time, discovered that Marco Rubio has more African blood, he's more African American. He has more African blood in him than Pocahontas has any Native American blood, because she lies all the time. But we'll get to her lying in a minute. Let's start out with Chuck Schumer, the Lizard King, lying about the government shutdown. It's the Schumer shutdown. Schumer shut it down. It's a shakedown. It's extortion. The Republicans on the Hill should be calling it extortion. They should be calling it a shakedown. He wants $1.2 to $1.5 trillion. He wants to refund the Corporation for Public Broadcasting because it's a taxpayer-funded propaganda network that the Democrats have set up across the country in every big city and every small hamlet with every propaganda network. And if I'm the Speaker of the House, I'd come back and I'd say, okay, you can have your $500 million for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, but we get $500 million for talk radio. All right? And let's see the snakes slither out of that one. Here is the Lizard King, Chuck Schumer, lying while he accuses other people of lying.
They try to divert the subject, change the subject, and make up lies.
Divert the subject.
Like saying, oh, we're for giving this health care money to undocumented immigrants. They know damn well that the law is that no Medicare, Medicaid, or ACA funds can go to undocumented immigrants.
ACA, he calls it ACA. That's Obamacare. The Affordable Care Act, which made health care much less affordable. We had to leave the plans that we were on because Obama destroyed, blew up, set fire to, firebombed, Molotov cocktailed our health insurance. And they say, see, now it's better. And then they thought it was a synagogue or something, so they firebombed it, the Democrat Party. Yeah, so they make up lies. And he's lying while he accuses you of making up lies. He's the Lizard King, all right? Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, and he is just great. He's strong like bull. And he responded to Chuck Schumer, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is out there saying, have you heard this? Saying if the Republicans in the Senate want to negotiate, they should come to her office to negotiate. She's a loser, flunky, bottom-rung House member, and the Senate has nothing to do with her. But the egos on these Socialist Workers Party people, I'm telling you, President J.D. Vance was having none of it yesterday.
The Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party shut down the government because they said to us, we will open the government, but only if you give billions of dollars of funding for health care for illegal aliens. That's a ridiculous proposition.
That's only if you give billions. It's billion. You know what the number is? It's crazy, over the top number that the Democrats want to steal and then just add to the tab of $37 trillion that Schumer, I looked it up once when Schumer came to Washington, it was like $1 trillion. Now it's $37 trillion. He should probably be in a penitentiary in Cuba. I think that's a Gitmo. He's a Gitmo guy. Maybe Supermax in Colorado. J.D. Vance was having none of it, and he explained why Chuck Schumer was lying when he just lied to us as the liar that he is.
There are two Biden-era programs that explicitly gave the taxpayer health care money to illegal aliens that we turned off when President Trump took over in January. The Democrats want to turn it back on. It is in the text of the bill that they initially gave to us to reopen the government.
And here it is, because they can show you the text, and the Democrats Say again, when the Trump administration came in, they said, hey, the Biden people turned over billions and billions and billions in free. It's not free. It's just that somebody else is paying for it. That is the Democrat Party stealing it from you and stealing it from me, stealing it from Jasmine, stealing it from Jeff Wolf across me, to pay illegal aliens because they believe that the millions and millions of illegal aliens, the gangs that they waved into the country, will vote Democrat because they also want to destroy the United States of America and Western civilization. They're Latin American gangs, after all. The Speaker of the House is Mike Johnson, and he, too, is having none of this guff. I'll just call it guff because we're on the radio, that they're peddling.
They're trying to take out in its entirety the reforms that we put into the big, beautiful bill pertaining to health. What we did was we strengthened the Medicaid program by making sure that ineligible recipients are not on the rolls. They estimate that 2.3 million illegal recipients for Medicaid will be pushed off the rolls because of our reforms, and that it's going to save $185 billion of taxpayer funds. So they want to return all those ineligible people back to the rolls, and many of them are illegal aliens.
I'm sorry, $185 billion. The Democrat Party should be rounded up by ICE and deported. I just say ICE because then they'd be deported. I like to see them deported. You know, maybe Cuba, where Assata Shakur, the cop killer hero of the Democrat Party, not to be confused with various other killers that are heroes of the Democrat Party, but like they got Luigi Mangione. He's a hero of the Democrat Party. Assata Shakur, hero of the Democrat Party. Hero of the Chicago Teachers Union, Assata Shakur, black terrorist, communist, cop killer, convicted cop killer, escaped from prison, fled to Cuba because there are communists there and they kill everybody. And they liked her until she died last week. And the Democrats are praising her across the United States because she's a cop killer, not in spite of. Now, let me go to the Democrat congressman whose name is Ro Khanna. Accidentally, he screwed up, and so he was not supposed to do this. I think Schumer is going to have to take a staple gun to his eyelids or something. But here is Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna accidentally admitting that there are billions and billions for illegal aliens in what the Democrats are demanding.
In terms of health care, the reality is they're just not being honest. The amount of money that actually is going towards people who are undocumented is such a small portion of the Medicaid cuts or the Affordable Care Act, if at all. And so we can argue that point, but the reality that even the vice president would acknowledge, that anyone who looks at the numbers will acknowledge, is 90 to 95% of the funding we're talking about is talking about funding for American citizens.
Wait a minute, 90 to 95% of the funding we're talking about is for American citizens, meaning maybe 10% of the money we're talking about is not for American citizens. He screwed up. It's a classic Washington gaffe. He accidentally told the truth. So just 10%. So is that $185 billion since we're talking about 1-point-something trillion? 10% of that is $100 billion. Right? And the Speaker of the House said $185 billion. Free stuff for 2.3 million. And then when you give the Democrats that, they come back. And you know what they want when they come back? They want more. They're not liberals. They're the left. Hey, Ro Khanna, just 10% of it goes to illegal alien gang members that are here to destroy the world. And you guys are facilitating their efforts. Honestly. All right, maybe not ICE. Maybe we have the FBI and pre-dawn raids with camera crews across the street. Pre-dawn raids for Democrats in the House.
You're listening to The Chris Plante Show.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, Pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Scammers, stalkers, criminals. They're looking for your personal information and finding it easier than you think. With Incogni, you can reduce your personal information exposure on the web. Your name